Jim Leatherneck, and it's time for another edition of NFL Weekly. Here now, I'm Jeff McAleer from the Gaming Gang. Welcome aboard, everyone. I am kicking off our Day 4 coverage of the Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo 3 with a good friend of mine in the hobby, Chuck Cumbo from Trollord Games. And you may, if you caught our stream yesterday, I think, all days like rolling to one at conventions.
I thought it was just one day.
Yeah. It's a 72-hour day here. We talked to Steven from Trollord Games, and it was the UFO hour with some mention of Trollord Games. So we're going to talk to Chuck about Trollord Games and probably go pretty late on the UFO.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can do a little bit if you want. I've got some past history. But you know,
Were you abducted?
Let's not talk about it right now. I mean, I did become a.
So I want to talk about it because it brings back memories.
It's sensitive. You're right.
So, how's things going? What's cooking?
Man, it's been good. The con's been great. I have to say I've had some of the best games I've ever had this week. It was great. I had phenomenal games. I think it was a 15-person or 20-person game Friday night. Everybody died except one, unfortunately. He was smart. He's a regular player in some of my online games. He's been part of the community for a while. He's never survived a game. He told me mine. I didn't know this. I don't really.
Right,
I don't keep a track of it.
Right, there's no tally.
Well, there is. That's another story if you want to hear that one.
There you go. We have 30 minutes, man. We can rock and roll with whatever you want
to
to
hear a good story about tallying up deaths? You want to hear that?
Not really. Hey, I run Call of Cthulhu. Come on. My players, right next to me is off camera, is our engineer and co-founder of thegaminggang.com, Elliot Miller. Why don't you wave to the folks?
It's Elliot. Oh God, you better
hello, folks. I didn't say put your head in the shot. Hello, folks.
Yeah, well, I was traumatized as a kid in the 70s playing D&D over that. So.
Were you really?
Yeah. First DM I ever had. He used to have his DMG guy. He put a hash mark every time he killed us. He loved it. And over a couple of summers, we really got to not like that.
Yeah.
And then when that summer.
So you knocked him out, threw him in the trunk?
Well, we thought about it. We talked about it. We did. We had little coup talks or whatever. But, you live in the neighborhood with kids.
Yeah, you drove up to Jersey to the Pine Barrens.
No.
I don't know.
We picked up some cement. I don't know. But, yeah, so my mom got me the books for Christmas in 79, I guess, finally. That's about when they were coming out, I think. But anyway.
That's about when I got on board.
Yeah. We were playing at home still then, but then we started playing without it, right? He found out.
I wonder why.
He's the oldest kid in the neighborhood. He told me, I don't want to play. And I'll be honest, when he finally found out, we did it for a long time. Ravenloft came out. They came out with that Ravenloft module. All I remember, he was up on this wall, and he was fighting a white. And that white had about 10,000 hit points by the time I was through. He died. In my original DMG, there's one hash mark. Just one.
See, it sounds like he, a lot of Dungeon Masters out there who thought the game was to be run adversarially.
Yeah. I'm dying. Every session.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think 4 weeks in a row.
Well, we were playing like madmen during the summer. You know how it was back in the day. Not sleeping for 3 days and that nonsense.
But anyway. I was over at Elliot's house, running Call of Cthulhu for the gang, and my mom, because we didn't have cell phones or anything.
No.
You'd call in. When are you coming home? Probably tomorrow afternoon. Yeah, especially during the summer.
Thank you.
Yes, most definitely. So, Chuck, you wear a lot of hats with the Trollords. And we talk all the time because you're the one who informs me of what's new, what's on the rise. Always something cooking with Trollord Games.
Always.
We touched upon some things, but we didn't really get into them much. So first thing I wanted to remind people, if you are not familiar with Trollord Games and Castles and Crusades, it is a fantasy role-playing game. It does share some DNA with the world's oldest fantasy role-playing game, but it is its own thing. In fact, I know you guys have never claimed this, but a lot of people claim Castles and Crusades is what second edition Dungeons and Dragons would have been if Gary had still been around.
Well, I was on board when we designed it. He was there. And he was, he's credited throughout all of our books and stuff. Yeah, I don't want to say that either, but
right. That's what I'm saying. You never.
But when I run these
tagline.
games out here, it's AD&D, but no Fatco. And I'm like, yes. And no, it's not as modular as Stewie was. Stewie had a lot of expansive stuff, which is great. I love it. We played the shit out of Weapon Speed, for sure. Yeah. But, I mean, I can't deny it is. We've got a lot of the good with it, for sure.
Right.
People have that, but it's still light and quick. Like, I don't know. We ran a 3-hour session yesterday, and I don't know, 4 combats in it. It was great, role play. Because I just can cut through real quick. Not a lot of rules, not a lot of facts.
Right.
That's why I started playing in 2004. I was buying stuff from it since '99, and then, I kind of got drug into 5e a different way than most people. I wasn't wanting to play. I did D&D next. It was okay, whatever. But then I discovered virtual tabletops, and people were flocking to the one that they had on Fantasy Grounds, which was very robust.
Yes.
The companies here wasn't robust at all. It was a character sheet. Yeah. And so I thought I could use these people to get into C. And then I rode that. And then one morning I was running a campaign. I was streaming it. Been doing it for 4 years. We were in Expedition Barricades. And they had it all laid out in 5 foot. My God, the size of that thing. And they were all gathering in the Discord, and we were talking, and they said, they didn't say anything. I thought, is everything all right? Well, this is something you'll understand. We'd like your players tell you that. Some shit going to go down, right? I said, what's wrong? Oh, yeah, we're just a little bored with this because it was a slog in 5e at 12th level, in those 5 foot increments. And I said, well, you want to do some other, we're going to do a different campaign. I said, where at? You want to go to the southern part? You want to go to the desert? I was just doing Forgotten Realms or whatever. Yeah. But the main part of it was I was doing all 5e products. And they said, can we just go back to CNC? And I said, yeah, I don't care. So we wrote up characters, streamed that game. At the time, it wasn't working for anybody. I was running 8 games a week streaming. I had nothing to do. So, and I did that next week with them, and then I moved all my games back. I was like, oh, it was so nice. And then they laughed at me because I'd house ruled my rules at about 8 pages back to CNC anyway, just about.
Right.
So we just went on. And
it was, the transition there was fairly smooth, which actually will allow me to segue into another aspect of Crusades that is very appealing to a lot of people, and that is the fact that if you want to take Castles and Crusades, which you only need 2 books, you do not need the Castle Keeper's Guide. It is optional. It's all optional material, great stuff, but it's not like, oh, you must have this. In fact, I think you were probably one of the first companies that had 3 core books, but you really only needed 2, which is kind of a thing now that's going on.
Right.
But you can take BX Adventures, you can take AD&D Adventures, you could probably go all the way up to 3, maybe not 3.5 D&D, and convert them relatively easily, almost on the fly, to Castles and Crusades.
I convert 2D20 systems on the fly. But I'm good at it. I know I've been doing it a long time.
You're in the industry.
No, you're right.
You're a
different.
gamer.
I know, but what? On his own show.
No, you know what I mean.
No, it's, you're right. 100% right. I just ran a campaign with the guys, and we combined Aldrin's Beacon and Human Lizard King. Man, it was a blast.
Yeah.
All I did was just, I looked at the hit die. If it's something we don't have in our books, I just look at the hit dice. I put a bonus to hit, the bonus for saves, and decide if they got physical or mental saves, and that's it. We're on. You're good to go. Yeah. So.
And if anyone out there curious about Castles, there is a recent starter set which hit, it was like summer that it came out, right? And that will give you a nice intro to the system. It's really everything you need to play in one box, and it'll take you all the way. It's the point of contention with you, so we're just going to move past it. 6th level, not 3rd level, 6th level, which is pretty impressive.
It's pretty good. Gives you a lot of room in the sandbox too. Like I ran 5 games that year, and every session was a different part of the map because it's not tied to any setting anymore.
Right.
And it's filled with plot holes. So I had a good time though. It was all right. I like doing that one a whole lot because I can switch it up. And, folks come here. Like I've ran B1 for a couple of cons now, and all it is, they go down the hallway, they fight those berserkers, and then they go down in the cavern, and then there's a lift It's got an illusion on him as a blue dragon. There's an illusion on him as a red dragon. And I give them hints, and then they use all their spells on fire, thinking they're going to fight a red dragon. And then they find out it's blue, so they recast. And then they get there. Guess what? It's a lich.
Womp, womp, womp.
So it's not B1, but, it's kind of B1.
So how many tally marks do you get to put in the book for doing that?
I don't put nothing in there. I'd have, never mind. Anyway, it's, I mean, one of the things I have to tell people when we play, there are no short rests. There are no long rests. As long as there's no death saves. You can go in the negatives to 10, just like AD&D. So be careful. You're not the murder hobos, the monsters are.
Right, exactly.
I'll tell you something right now, Jeff. I've got a group right now in the dungeon, and they've got it blockaded. There's a bunch of orcs camped outside this dungeon. They know they're in there. They found a way out. They're running out of food, but one guy's got his leg broken. So they're going to leave him with the rations that we ended last week. He plans to leave him with food and go back, try to get back up to the town, get more food, and come back and rescue. I mean, that's D&D, man. That's, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And, it's great.
It's not like, this is safe enough. We can long rest.
Yeah. Oh, it's Undermount. We'll clean it out.
Yeah, we'll regain everything.
No.
I don't mind that. I mean, that's
okay.
how it's fine.
No, it's cool. I just enjoy it because it's like it was when I grew up,
I'm not knocking D&D.
I love D&D.
I'm about ready to start a campaign with the gang.
All right.
Yeah.
What's going to be about?
I'm just going to go with I think we're going to go with the new starter set.
You said you need the CNC stuff to found out. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, no. I didn't say that. That wasn't good. I'm not that kind of reviewer, folks.
No.
I'm not like to walk up to the.
No, because
you've never.
I would expect you to review it, though.
Yes. Okay, so you know what? We can segue into that.
What?
Let's talk about the online BTT support that Castles and Crusades has, because I don't know.
Well, we have. It's an interesting thing because that's not like a bad way to put it. It's really hard to break even in the BTT industry. It's just a thing. It's kind of like coming to conventions. It's sort of just a side thing. It's a small income stream, if any. We have stuff on Roll20. It needs some GL. I've got a guy working on it, but he's a full-time software engineer, so that happens does. Fantasy Grounds was our first big one to get into. We converted everything over pre-OG. Now we're reconverting again. Right. But we have a lot of stuff on adventures and stuff. It's pretty good. And then the Foundry, I have a team that works on it, and that we hired, and they built out the Player's Handbook, the CKG, and the Monsters and Treasures. And Beneath the Canopy Green is. I'll probably get that released when I get back, probably first one early February. And that is phenomenal. Because it's all, reforged, non-AGL, everything cleaned up, and they use the latest printings. I'm really excited about it. It's pretty good. And Foundry's a good system. They're all good BTTs, though. It's all about subjectivity, what you like.
Right. So as an example, I first was taking a peek at using Fantasy Grounds.
Yeah.
And then I can tell it's not going to have the visual pop that I need. Well, I don't necessarily have to have some of my players who aren't big role players.
Sure.
I need that to keep them invested.
Absolutely.
As opposed to, here's just a screen and we're talking and you move your guy. Oh, you hit.
No,
this has like blood and it's got weapons.
They get an idea of what's happening.
Yeah. So, because they're used to video games. So there are mods out there for Foundry that provide more visual pizzazz, I guess I will say. And I'm not knocking any other
tabletops
either.
It's a million of them now. And that's also rough on the market, too.
It is.
What I mean? But those three are probably the best out of the bunch, I guess, as far as what we deal with. That's the only ones we really deal with. I get folks that ask all the time, but honestly, at this point, if somebody wants to use our stuff online like that, we just have to look at a license agreement and let them do it. We don't have the bandwidth to do email. It's tough nowadays. We've gotten a lot busier than we did when I started. Of course, a lot busier. So some days I'm just kind of like, I wish I had somebody with us just to take it over. It's all good.
If you would like to see a bunch of coverage of the various different Castles and Crusades releases, not all of them, obviously, you might consider visiting thegaminggang.com, or on YouTube, it's The Gaming Gang as a channel. I have first look videos, I've got review videos, I've got a video that talks about why you should play Castles and Crusades. I'm sure you're aware of that video.
I watch all your videos.
It's years.
I don't thumbs up or what. Oh, I won't. Never mind. Yeah, I know.
You don't give me a thumbs up.
I mean, no, I don't say nothing. I just.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? I'm busy, but I always watch
I get
it.
it.
Well,
A lot of people watch
like
when they're doing other stuff. It's, well,
I like to hear what you
fine
say
with
about
that. You never come. But yeah, I mean, and Unvarnished Reviews, if you want to check it out,
Yeah,
you'll
he's
get
very-
a look inside what these look like. I talk about different aspects of it. And then, of course, I do a live stream, which we just shared first looks at. I know it was the Codex Exultum.
Oh,
I'm
such
trying to
a.
remember if I did a first look for Inferno.
I think you might remember. I think they're both wicked cool. Though.
I didn't. I haven't yet.
They're wicked cool.
I think it's slated for
Hey, my favorite monster. I like them all. Man, it's just something about demons and devils, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's cool.
Yeah, it's Satanic Panic.
And
Let's
they
bring
are-
it back, ladies and gents.
And they are not like, I mean, they're our monsters. Even if it's got the name on it, they're so customized. Me and Steve and Jason Bay and Jeremy Falkus worked on those books. And they're great. I mean, they're just. I told the guys we retired. We didn't retire. We put our game on hold. The big game. We're about 13th level now. We're about to go into Offstrat and eventually into the Plains. And I said, so when we go back to that, we're down running around fighting dinosaurs right now. But when we go back up to there, I'm gonna have a good ass time. I'll tell you that. I might have booked this later. Well, let's see. You know, it's great. So good. I encourage people to check it out for sure.
And that's some with Trollord Games is you guys have so much content,
Yeah.
and it's not only Castles and Crusades. There's also a universal system, which is Amazing Adventures. I was trying to remember what the first 8 was for a second. But something else is you support Castles and Crusades very well. There are adventure modules that come out. There are campaigns. It's certainly not a game that it's like, wow, I got the core books, and there's one adventure,
Yeah.
and it's been a year,
Right.
nothing's come out. No, there's never any worries about that.
No, and I know that feeling. 'Cause I remember back in so many things like on Kickstarter or whatever, even out in a while, you'll buy something, they'll put out some stuff, and then it's like they would move on to another project.
Right.
I want your world, you know?
Right.
So whatever, your game. So.
Sadly, there are some role-playing games that are the current hotness that ends up being.
It
Like,
does.
or they'll do a Kickstarter for some follow-up because they want to get a better feel. Do people even want that content made or more additional content? It's sort of like, yeah, I would think.
Well, and you know, a lot of the, and I'm not knocking anybody, but we're a
That's
little
why I
bit.
didn't use any names.
Well, we're a little different from folks. We have our own print shop, we have our own distribution, we have our own direct retail services. We have all this stuff built in. So if you buy our stuff and you go away for 20 years, it's still there. We're here. We're a publisher. And there's a lot of people that will do it for Kickstarter, put some stuff out, but their stuff comes out through crowdfunding only. They may have a distributor, but they don't have a whole warehousing system set up, multiple retail fronts.
They don't have those resources.
They don't. And I think that's important in gamers, though. If you're wanting to do something for the long haul, you got to have that support.
Right.
I mean, we've been in business. I had to remind Steve, it'll be 28 years next year.
Well, last year was
It's
the
a long
20th anniversary.
Actually, that's going to be 2 years ago.
Is it?
Yeah, 24. It's crazy.
See, you get old and the memory starts to fade.
I try
You're
not to
like,
forget that one thing.
3 years ago when Jimmy Carter was president,
Oh, I
I remember.
Yeah, I know. So it's that's very important that we support, nonprofit organizations with education, like the Cub Scouts. We give them tons of books. The veteran program's good.
Yeah,
Schools.
I was going to segue it to the veteran
Have that?
system because that's something else. It is a veteran-owned and operated company, and
Anybody out there, thank you for your service. We really appreciate it.
yes, most definitely. As another way to thank you for that service, I believe there's a discount. Correct.
And if you
did not mishear that. 50%.
it's better than any sale we ever do, and it's
Yes.
every day.
Yeah.
Well, now there'll be some times when sales will be on where we can't do the both. I just tell
Right,
them, I just tell them to wait because some of them,
Take the
sometimes,
best.
well, people, right,
Take
exactly,
the best deal out of the two.
and merch or something. Like we've got like we had a few sets of dice a while back that we sold for $60. They cost us $50. Kind of tough to, but that kind of thing. But and if you're in theater, it's all free. We'll ship it to you. I don't care where you are, anywhere.
Yeah. So if you're someone out there who is in education, maybe you're thinking of, kids keep asking, when are we going to put a club together, Bob?
Absolutely.
These are the folks to talk to.
We ship it out all the time. We support them. We do.
Yes.
We do. I work with therapy groups and stuff, all kinds of stuff.
Weirdly enough, I would say that it's Trollwork games that I get the most emails about.
Oh, really?
People's experience. Well, for one, it's usually, hey, Jeff, I really want to say thank you for turning me on to Castles and Crusades.
Nice.
It's not something I was aware of, and reached out, ordered it from Trollwork Games, where I'm a veteran, and I got this fantastic deal, and I would have never known anything about this unless I hopped over to the gaming gang. Whatever.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's Trollwork Games. I hear that the most.
We're a little different.
Yes.
We have no illusions about work.
Obviously enough.
Yeah, look at me. But yeah,
I'm different too.
We're gamers.
Right.
And we're veterans. I was a school teacher for many years. We're a company of people with education and degrees that don't use them. We use gaming books and imagination to run our company. It's kind of weird, but I'm pretty happy. I came out of retirement for it, and I'm very blessed because I sure didn't think I would be working in a gaming company.
Like, yeah, what's on Me TV today?
Yeah, right. We're sitting around eating cereal for hours.
Oh, hey, thankfully it's the Rockford Files. I'll watch that. Barnaby Jones again.
Too many memories. But, yeah.
At least we were little kids. It's not like, well, I was 25 years old watching Barnaby Jones. So I've got two quick questions for you. What's on the horizon that people can look forward to? Because I know we haven't even touched upon Iggsburg.
So, yeah, we've got Castle Zygeig Part 1, which is the first 3 volumes. It's almost done. I'm so excited. Man, it was really, you don't know what it's like to be able to edit Gary's really weird thing for me.
Yeah.
There's so much cool shit in that. It's unbelievable. I found a cave to, oddly enough, Barzoom, which is something we're releasing later this year.
Yeah.
So we're thinking about trying to do a cross tile on that. That would be so
that's
cool.
Pretty
that
wild.
Would be wild, man, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because you like I said, it's not only Castles and Crusades. So yes, you're gonna have John Carter of Mars.
Well, it's gonna be Barzoom. It's gonna be brutal.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not. I mean, the movie was beautiful, but this is gonna be Barzoom.
Well, I'm talking about.
But it's perfect for the game, though.
Works. Yeah. Right.
Oh no, I know.
Yeah.
So we got that coming out.
You got the license from Disney to do it.
No, we have a very good relationship with Edgar Rice Burroughs' family and Robert Howard's family. So we get to do neat little projects with them from time to time. It's pretty nice. And of course, but we've got the Zygeig stuff coming out. And right as that's coming out, I think it's April, we're doing a big mega dungeon thing on Backer Kit with like Gilman Games and other people. And ours is going to be the last two. So we did the first part, which was let's see, the first 3, which is going to be Iggsburg's, I forget, and then the castle stuff, the ruins, and then the cellar, which is the dungeon. And then the last 2 sections are all the other dungeons, and that's wicked cool. That comes out, we'll do that in April. And then we've got Victor's Backpack. When I get back, I'm going to have to send you one of those.
Yeah.
It is amazing. Man, I'm telling you what about a second player's handbook? That one really come up from the ashes. Great. I wrote a new class in it, the Warlock, which is, I think it's cool. Not much of a spellcaster.
Okay.
More of a ritual caster. He likes blood. He likes.
Right. Yeah.
He likes all kinds. But it's still a good class. You can be lawful good and play it. I tried to work it out. It's all about the cause, right?
Right.
And then called the Blade Dancer, working with someone who's French that's an expert in that and sort of sword fighting and dancing. It's really cool looking. A lot of it's got these flourishes and stuff. And then we added a bunch of equipment to it, a bunch of just new stuff that's geared towards like archery. The archer in there's got shots now and stuff. Lots of new upgrades. So it's good. Cleaned up a bunch of stuff. OGL ripped out and gone.
Yes,
all
right.
that stuff.
Final question.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts you want to share with the audience?
If you can, make sure you make it up here next year to page 4. I can say I ran 8 games. Most of the games were 6, but they ended up being about 8 to 10 players. 'Cause
Well, it was funny because
I don't turn people down.
I ran over to ask you a question, and there was an open seat. Like I was sliding in,
Yeah.
and you knew I was coming to ask or get an answer to
Yeah.
a question. You're like, "Hey, you want to join?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "No, I got
I'm
interviews.
terrible.
So I got to go."
I'm terrible, man. I tell you, I had to put 2 tables together the whole weekend. Just about.
You guys would be at Gary Con. Right?
Oh yeah, we'll be at Gary Con. Well, we were part of Gary Con. That's one of our signature shows. Luke's, that crew's great. They've always been good. We go way back to the beginning, so it's good. This year we've got 5 panels, a tournament. I'm doing Tower Gygax again, and then we've got about 140 games, I think, something like that in the hall. It's really up there.
And if you would like to learn more about any of this, you can visit a website, trolllord.com.
Absolutely.
Not Troll Lords.
No.
Troll Lord.
And that's 3 L's. I always remember that.
Yes.
Took me 5 years to learn that.
Otherwise, you're going to go to something page not found. They lied to me.
Yeah. What's wrong with Jeff? He can't be trusted even if he is a Bears fan.
That's right. John, thank you very much for taking some time out this morning. You've been running around, running hundreds of games.
It's been fun though, man. It's a great con. They really expanded this year. It's great.
Yeah, we've had fun.
I've had a lot of fun too. That's the thing. I don't mind the work and do this, but it's nice to have some fun too.
Right.
I had some phenomenal kids games. So it's really great. Yeah. Thank
Always.
you. And y'all rock on in Troza.
We'll be back.
All right.
And we're back. Once again, the Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo 3, Day 4 continues. I am Jeff McAleer of the Gaming Gang, and I have Rob Alderman from Pulp Comic Press. If you follow the Gaming Gang, you've heard of this man's work. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. So welcome aboard. Good to see you.
Thank you,
We've
Jack.
never met in person before,
Yeah.
so very nice to finally get to talk with you.
me too.
And I have to, for some strange reason, I always have to for just a split catch myself so I don't say Pulp Comic Press. So thank you so much for keeping. I would hate to be especially at a live stream. Hey, we're gonna look at Volume 2 of Gods of Forbidden North from Pulp Comic Press.
You wouldn't be the first, yeah. No, it's a name I didn't think this would actually get big, so I just said I need a name for my company, I guess. So
It's big in multiple ways,
know.
ladies and gents.
So I live in Kitshomick, Delaware, and I was stuff so Paul Hummock, and I just that'll work. And now I'm like, oh, now I can't change it. I'm stuck. Well, there you go. There's the story.
I know, just like us, it's the Gaming Gang. Everybody says Gaming Gang. You got to put the "the" in front of it, otherwise you're not going to find us. Look, your website's down. Like what? Huh? So yeah, gaminggang.com. No, that's not it.
The article's
Very important. We're not here to talk. We're here to talk about Gods of the Forbidden North. Those folks out there who don't know what this possibly could be, a little bit about it. So it is a fantasy role-playing campaign. Is it going to end up the largest in history? Page count?
out for a little while, at least. I've done a lot of research. So there's someone out there that could find something that maybe just discredits what I'm about to say. But I think by page count,
That's right.
it could
Throw that in, yeah.
it could be the biggest. It could be the biggest published mega adventure of all time. But Arden Boole, I know the author of Arden Boole,
Yeah.
and if we compared manuscripts, his beats me out by 100,000 words. So, but he decompressed it in those wonderful Gygaxian columns.
Yes.
10-point font. So.
At least he didn't use the case point system.
Yeah, so I'll just count. I think it might be the biggest. The world's largest dungeon was saying there was going to be 15 or 1,600. So mine's 1612. So they might beat me around finish. So,
Well, I think we can get away with saying it'll be the largest 3-volume mega adventure page count wise. I think we're safe by saying that.
in the frozen north.
Yes. Yes. Set in the frozen
There
door.
you go.
Designed with an old school mentality.
And I did set out to do that, by the way. That was an accident.
Of course, because your
I
job.
couldn't stop. No one reined me in. Yep.
Yes. Chase potato chips. Once you start, you can't stop.
Got to finish the whole bag. It's just.
Yeah. All right, so it is an old school. It's designed for old school essentials,
Yes.
but it's really locked into only old school essentials. Any sort of fantasy role playing retro clone out there, you can. Plus, if you're still playing like AD&D or VX, you can jump right into that as well. About it, let's talk about Volume 1. And if you're curious, you can check out Volume 1. I have a first look video that I think I did live.
Yeah.
Also have a review video and my favorite role-playing game reviews of the year it came out. Which, amazingly enough, so did
Big
Volume.
hug for this man.
So what's going on with the characters? How does it all start?
So the first book is just it's like setting lore and the surface of this Arctic North, which is really heavily inspired by a trip I took to Alaska a few years ago before I started writing it all. And so all the surface is pretty much covered in that first book with the setting material front. And then the second book goes like a map that fits right on top of the other one with like 30 points. And then the third book, which I've finished in PDF format,
Yes.
but
So the
it's
kick, I forget. It was a Kickstarter.
all three, yeah, all
Okay.
three. Yep.
Well, it's like, no, it was Backer Kit, Jeff. So I tried to say crowdfunding project, and that they got the PDF. Right?
They got it.
That's what I thought.
They got 608 pages. So the whole thing's 1612. The last one is like one hex. The third volume covers the one hex, which is my mega dungeon, Castle Tharganon, and it goes through the maps to the very bottom, which is where the ending is going to happen. The big climax, the big final, and the big boss. So it's a huge campaign. I think it's like 18 or 1900 encounters between all three. And the last one alone has like 1100. It's all just dungeon. I'm really proud of it. I'm really glad it's over. It took 9.5 years.
I was going to say it, but an incredible amount of content. And when you'll see a publisher advertise something and say, there's years of adventuring in this book. No joke. There's probably a decade of adventuring if your group gets together every week. Not to like dissuade anybody from jumping on board, because it's very modular too. You can take what you want, leave out what you don't. But as far as the premise of the adventure, well, we figure, okay, so it's in the north, so it's probably cold, right? So take people back to as a first level character.
Yeah.
What are their characters going to be doing? What is their impetus for adventure?
Yeah,
in this locale?
Yeah, great. So it starts out like just to give you a little cultural background. Imagine the Romans. There's a sort of Roman-inspired, Roman-like culture called the Haitians. And the Haitians are sort of like magic in the real world. You got the frontier beyond it, and it's kind of a mysterious place. So imagine if that happened in Alaska with the Inuit instead of where the Romans actually had Hadrian's Wall and all those tribes. And that's kind of the idea that I came up with. That was sort of the beginning of it. So it's not Vikings. It's not the typical northern type setting stuff you see.
It's not Norse mythology.
Right. It's very different. So it's got a different feel to it. The premise of the game, there is like an opening adventure that you can use or not. And it sort of gives you this, hey, you got this Eye of Jakara, and I got the name Jakara kind of from Lee Brackett. So, and she basically got this jewel, it's like amulet, and it opens a tomb called Morkal's Tomb, and it's in the north, so you're on a ship on the way there already, kind of in the middle of things.
Money, money, money. That's it. There you go. There's your inspiration gag. Money, money, money.
As all grognards love, right?
Right. All right, murder hobos, get on the ship. Let's do
this. Yep. No, it gets you go there. There's this intro that kind of is sort of like I don't like to use the word railroad, but I like it like a little slide into a pool.
Right.
I designed it to get them going, get a group going, design your characters together in session. A Skyrim opening was kind of, because I played a lot of video games, so like having a scripted kind of opening.
How do you play video games?
Well, I don't anymore.
I was gonna say you spent 9 years working on this.
Well, after it ended, I started playing Mario with my son again.
There you go.
He's 6, so now I'm playing Mario. It's got to be real low.
Yeah, I used to play Mario with my son before I started working on this. And now we're looking at colleges.
That's right. I'm like, hey, you want to play Mario again? He looks at me like, what that?
Are you kidding? I'm playing Clear Obscure third grade. Come on.
He's like 40 years old. Right. Yeah. Dad, I have my own family, Dad. Did you know? No.
When you're talking Barbara's in labor at the hospital, you want me to come by and play Mario?
I can't. I have to keep writing.
Sorry. So what was the inspiration for this? Because we're now talking about how you've invested a nice chunk of your entire life.
Sorry to regret it. And just so much, Jeff. I guess it was a few things. One, I love big mega dungeon products. I like it. I'm not a zero prep guy. I like having everything done for me. And if I want to add, then I can add it. Or if I don't use it all, then I don't use it. But I want it done for me. And I pay for it. That's me.
Right.
That's exactly. So I was like, what if I could make my own perfect product? what would it be like? And this is what happened. This is what came out of that. It was inspired by a trip I came to Alaska. My dad was a West Pointer Roman, like a Roman Empire historian kind of guy with his master's degrees and stuff. So I basically just I used to hear about it all the time, that and cowboys and samurai. So I was like, Romans, that's great. And my trip to Alaska kind of introduced me to the Inuit people, and I got to meet a lot of them, and that they're just an inspiration for the culture I made. But that was my starting point, and I hope I was respectful to their culture by doing that. And I just
not what I've seen on Twitter. This Rob Alderman guy from Pulp Hammock Press.
Right, what's he
has written this game.
But so that's kind of how it began. And I wanted to have a big mega dungeon, so it was supposed to be one book, and it was supposed to be just for the mega dungeon. And I started doing you would design like one place, and then like you would create backstory for why that was and make it make sense, and then that would cause you to make something else, and eventually you got where, well, I had all the land around, and this wasn't originally a Kickstarter project. It was really just me working on the side, so I wasn't really restricted by budget, or I was just doing it.
Right.
And it just started growing and growing, and eventually it became this whole continent and everything in it and under it. And it just, I was like, you know what? It needs to be 3 books, even though it's really one. I see it as one book, but
you'd never be able to pick up.
You're just right, yeah.
Unless you're like Luke Gygax.
Yeah, right.
He can lift me. I mean, come on. But yeah, just think, all those pages. I'll tell you one thing that was super impressive when I first got to take a peek at the amount of classic line art, really cool line art that people who appreciate that sort of artwork. They don't necessarily need the digitally enhanced color. Some awesome artwork in those books.
Yeah.
So kudos.
Thank you.
I know you didn't draw them.
Well, no, no. My team of artists. I have a literary.
So it would have taken 17 years.
Yeah.
To fix that.
Sorry, son. I'll see you when you're grandfather. No, I was a literary editor. I'm a literary magazine editor. When I was back in like grad school, right after grad school, and so when my whole taste and my experience was, you design a little book and you get a bunch of different artists. And so, I mean, from a business perspective, that's bad, because then it means they all charge full price.
Right.
Which is why I blew all the money that I got from Kickstarter on the art. But anyway.
Well, that's not unusual.
No, you're right.
It really isn't unusual.
You're right.
Especially, coming to a crowdfunding project for the very first time, not realizing what might lie ahead. Yeah.
So I just got a bunch of artists, and I was like, I like that work. I like that. That would work. And I just started piece here, piece there, and then I finally Kickstarted. I was like, oh, I gotta have a budget. So then I turned around and started going, okay, let me get 10 from you, 10 for you. But I'd already bought them, and I committed to that. So I had to keep doing it in volume 2 and 3 to make it still look the same, And I would rotate a few illustrators that were new into the second volume and the third. But I felt their styles meshed. And so there's a real eclectic taste. Some people don't like all the artists, but that's what we did in the literary magazine. While we were trying to get a big taste of it. And that was my thinking behind that. And I got to meet a lot of cool artists from it. I'm really glad I did. So
very cool.
Yeah.
So something else I do want to mention is, like you said, well, the optional intro adventure volume 1 was kind of railroady.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, 100%.
You said it. I didn't.
100%.
I'm just repeating what you just told.
No, it is.
The rest of the adventures aren't. The rest of the book is not. It's very, yes, there is a logical progression that will end up taking place, but there's a lot of sandbox in there as well.
Yeah. I know that there's types of groups, like I know groups and affiliating groups that they can't meet all the time. So I was like, some people don't like it, some people do, and some people don't care. I thought it'd be cool.
So are you trying to say that people in our hobby have opinions?
Wouldn't you believe it? No. No,
Mason.
I was trying to design it to give both. You can obviously it's a sandbox. You can do whatever you want, but I wanted to have the little carrot there, like kind of like a Skyrim game where there's that little flashing arrow, so you can go that way if you want. But you don't have to. That's just there for that type of group that wants a direction or that can't. They don't have time for that in between. They just they Conan the Barbarian it right to the next spot. Let's just go here at the front door of the next dungeon.
Right.
So I want to give that and give the structure
Take
there.
the black
for-
on that scene and
You got it.
action.
You got it. But some people love to not have any of that, and I think it works great to just drop them in. So you just arrive. Let's go discover. It's great.
So after the third volume, which wraps up the trilogy, how do you plan on spending your next 9 years?
Playing Mario. No, I don't know.
Mario Kart alone.
Watching the Bears possibly take it on. I don't know what happens. Let's see what happens.
Hey, trust me. Sadly, we're gonna miss. I think about the first half of the game because we'll be
Oh, yeah?
there.
Oh, that's
Hey, we'll be there for the second half. Not at the game, of course, but
someone will have the
following.
someone will
I'm
have
sure.
it and they'll be shouting out.
I'll be trying to figure out. I've got many different tricks to get info while I'm in flight.
Look at stealth.
Right?
Stealth.
Dice rolling is normal. What would be a pitch that you would give to someone about that? It's Forbidden North.
Forbidden North,
You
yeah.
said Forgotten.
No, it's
That-
Frozen North.
That's the game from that Pulp Hammock press.
Yeah.
We're not talking about that.
Oh, damn it. Forgotten North. Whatever, No, it's fine.
Well, I do cover more than just your books out there.
No
they all
way.
Psycho
How do you have time?
Because I don't have children.
There you go.
I don't have that guilt on me where it's like, Dad, are you gonna come watch me play today? No, son, I can't. I mean, I am the third baseman for the Braves now. No, I can't make it.
X 2020 calls.
What kind of elevator pitch would you give to people? Because there are a lot of mega dungeons out there. There are a lot of really extended old school campaigns that are available. What sets Forgotten North from them?
You've got an interesting mix of
You answer
setting.
the question. It's Forbidden North. I said Forgotten.
There you go. You got me. I don't even know the name anymore. It's been so long since I wrote it. I forgot.
I laughed when I'm like, how did players get started? I almost said, if you remember.
No, I would say that it's an interesting mix of I guess non-typical or non-traditional northern cultures.
It's not a Viking game.
Yeah, so you got that, and I think that it's a setting and an adventure and a giant hex scroll in a dungeon. Like it's everything. Like it's all in one. It's not like I have to buy this thing, go buy the setting to understand it. It's just all one thing, all contained. I think it's fully detailed. I think there's 14 million. I could be getting the exact number wrong here, but 14 million gold and monster experience points for old school guys. Treasure is as XP. Like there's enough to get. If you had a group of like 7 or 8 characters. Players, like you would be able to get them all to like 2 million each, which just maxes out old school essentials and will get you pretty far up anything else if you were doing it. So
most definitely.
even if you're a druid.
So I got 2 last questions for you, Rob.
Absolutely.
How did you get in the game?
My dad, he was always working a lot, like his own God Forbidden North. he missed most of my childhood. No, I'm just kidding. He was a military guy, so he was always deployed. He was in combat arms, and so one of his tours, we were in Leavenworth, Kansas, and he was just in school for like 2 years, so he was there right at that critical time. I was like 10, 11, and he walks in one day with this Milton Bradley Hero Quest game. And he sets it down. He goes, "Hey, Mark and Robert's my brother Mark." He goes, "You guys want to play this episode with us?" And then back then, like all the Army dads would take their kids to Boy Scouts, and all the Scoutmasters, like Army Rangers and all these like really tough guys, they would have access to their ranges, and they would take the kids on the ranges. It was awesome. You know, early '90s, and so like there were these kids that played AD&D Second Edition in one of the tents at night, and I heard them playing. I was like, "What's that?" And I went over and I was like just watching them, and they wouldn't let me play because I wasn't cool and old enough. But I then went to a used bookstore. I know, right? I went to a used bookstore and I got them myself.
So you were gatekept.
I was gatekept. I was.
Thankfully, we never saw anything like that. But,
Yeah.
you know, I know it happened. I've never actually talked to somebody who it did happen
Yeah.
to.
But all it did was inspire me to go out and get them myself and run it myself. And then I became the DM of my own group. Always the DM after that.
You were hooked.
It was over, yeah.
It's like Jay's potato chips.
That's right. And,
No.
I was just gonna say, you know, like back in the Second Edition days, like everyone would have their setting they like they had all the different settings. So I got into Planescape, my brother got into Darksun. That's how we were trying to be different from each other. So I learned all this like narrative type of writing, adventure writing. My brother's reading all this Darksun stuff. So in third edition, like trying to construct adventures that way. And a book for, you know, Rapanathla, Rapanathu cover.
Yeah.
I say Rapanathu, but apparently I'm wrong. Dungeon of Graves. I see this little booklet, soft cover. And I picked it up somehow randomly, and it was this huge dungeon where like there's no script, you just go into it. And then I bought the second one, the third one, and I started writing. I was hooked. And after that, I was like, I love that open, that exploration. You know, like I go left or right, and I have a little bit of evidence to tell me what might be there. After that, that's all I ran. I ran it 20-something times, I think, over the last 20 years. It was about 2003, 4 when I got that book. Yeah, I've ran it a lot. And so a lot of that kind of, that to me was the OSR before I heard that term. And then later, Swords and Wizardry comes out. I really love that game.
Yeah, I like Swords and Wizardry.
Yeah.
I'd like to see the new edition that came out. I haven't had it.
Yeah. Yeah, for 5e, 2024.
No, I have that. I the new edition of Swords and Wizardry.
yeah.
Mythmire.
Yeah, Mythmere. Yep.
Mythmere,
Yep.
yes. You know,
I got those books. Yeah, they're very nice. Very nice. No, you got like 800.
I'm a lowly reviewer.
No, you have so many books, man.
I have so many videos. I've got like over 2,300 videos on the channel.
I actually want to go into your vault, like where you keep all these things. There must be like a vault, right?
Well, yeah, there is kind of in the Duct Tape Studios, but very honestly, a lot of stuff that I review that I know is just never gonna see the table again.
Yeah.
I either donate or I give viewers an opportunity to you know, I do like game sales. That's what pays for me to come to stuff like that.
Wow.
Because I mean, I know it's not going to get any more love than my coverage.
Right.
You know, with my gang. So it's sort of like, well, let's get it in the hands of somebody who's going to be using it. So, because I only run Call of Cthulhu. That's it. Nothing else. It's my main game.
Is that what you guys run at your table?
Yeah, that's what we.
That's awesome. Is it one of the actual like 1920s setting?
Oh yeah, I stick with and I know enough about history because I got into Call of Cthulhu when it came out. I mean, when it came out, and so I was like, wow, I would go and buy books about the 1920s and stuff. So yeah, we stick to the 20s, 30s. So yeah, we have a blast.
Are you always the rep or the player or switch it?
I'm the forever.
Yeah.
I'm the forever keeper, ladies and gents. How are you? And our engineer today, my best friend Elliot Miller, co-founder of thegaminggang.com, is a victim of all those shenanigans in Arkham and elsewhere.
Do you know how many times you've you greased his character?
Not
You
a
guys
whole,
have a tally?
not a whole hell of a lot. No, I was just talking to Chuck Cumbo.
Got him again.
Control Lord Game. Chuck Cumbo was just talking about his first DM had a tally list in his DM guide, and he'd be like, "It's like, really?
I did that too.
You're an evil man."
I had it. I was like, "Got you again, Jeff. Got you again, Mark."
Yeah. See, no.
Well, it was like a joke, though.
I've always been, as a game master, I've always been one more for the storytelling aspect of it.
Yeah.
Rules be damned.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, botch that roll. So I'm not going to necessarily kill you. I used to love to do the Fade to Black.
Yeah.
And then, because I always, well, not always, but I would session on a cliffhanger.
That's good. Yeah.
And many times when they were being killed by deep ones or encountered at Shoggoth, be like, they're down to 0 hit points. And we fade to black. And it's like, all right, guys, we'll play again next weekend. And, be sure you have a fresh character sheet with you.
That's pretty cruel.
I wouldn't always say, hey, I'm a fresh.
Yeah, you see it.
No, because I always held on to the character sheets for them so they wouldn't get lost. Because you know how it is when people bring their character. Oh, I forgot my character sheet. It'd be like, I don't remember what's on it. You don't remember what's on it. So I'd be like, okay, give me the character sheets. But I wouldn't like yank stuff out of people's hands. And then we'd come back and it'd be like, oh, well, when you regain consciousness, and I kid you not, there were times where it was just a collective sigh of relief at the table.
Until the end of that game.
Like I said, I think Elliot's characters maybe died 3 times in all of those years.
Wow.
So
yeah,
like a steel trap.
yes, until he stepped into the steel trap. Any final thoughts you want to share with the audience?
You said narrative games. You like narrative games.
I don't necessarily like narrative games. I'll take the crunchiest system out there.
Yeah.
And I could run it, but I'm going to guarantee right now, I am not going to allow. I'm not one of these guys. I don't want my combat encounter to last an hour and a half. Because we got story to continue.
Right. No, I understand.
I don't want the 3-page introduction adventure in the back of a core book to take me 10 sessions to run at 10 pages.
Right.
So I can take the crunchiest game and I will distill it to the essentials. Just so we're playing, we're telling the story, we're moving on.
I'm getting into it.
Yeah.
There's a game I play now. I really like it a lot, and it's another publisher, Free League.
Yeah,
it's a narrative
super
game.
Familiar with Free League. We're super tight.
Yeah, Walking Dead RPG.
Yeah.
I run it at every con that I go to because it's my favorite non-D&D game right now because I love zombie apocalypse stuff.
Yeah.
And one of the things I like about it is there's a stress mechanic that's really easy to use, and
they adapted it from Alien.
Yeah, no,
Alien
right.
RPG.
And I've not gotten to play Alien, so I don't know which one's like the better one. But like when I play The Walking Dead, I like it because you actually don't need to. You can have like a scenario prep, like there's a building, and after that, the dice cause all the problems.
Right.
And the players' choices cause all the problems. And it's so much fun. I feel like it's real easy, and like there's a lot of extra stuff that I don't use because, like you said, I try to strip it down. But it's that's only if you're playing a long-term game. I think you'd need that stuff. So when I'm at a con, I'm like, you don't need
con game.
Yeah, right. And the course is just a beautiful game, and I would love to play a longer one to test the other ones out. But I think the game is so much fun, and it's a game that I've always played at every con. I always get a lot of groups. We're always the loudest, most obnoxious group playing at that hour because we're all screaming.
I'm trying to play. I can't hear them. So it's your table.
That's me. Yep. Sorry.
I know who'd blame. Got to be very honest. If you check out the Evolved edition of Alien, having not played the first edition, it could end up being your
favorite game.
Yeah, it might leave The Walking Dead in the dust.
I used to have a huge crush on Sigourney Weaver, so I will go get the book. I know she's not in it, but I still. Yeah, is she still in there? Yeah.
I'm not saying that. It is licensing going on here. So I'll give you a great example. The opening scenario, it's actually in their new starter set. It was in their old starter set too. It's what takes place on that colony from Aliens.
Yeah.
Prior to the Marines arriving.
Game over, man.
For most of them, yeah. Yeah, very over.
Game over.
But yeah, I think you would like it.
That's on. I'm gonna definitely check it out.
Rob Alderman from Hulk Games. thank you very much for joining me today. Enjoy. I'd say the con, but you still got some time. Enjoy the few hours we have left.
Game on, my friends. Yeah, thank you for having me. Really
Sure
appreciate
thing.
it.
You got it.
Nice to meet you.
You know, and we're back here at the Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo 3-day 4. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer from thegaminggang.com, assisted by our lovely and talented engineer, Elliot Miller, co-founder of The Gaming Gang. Blowing kisses the fan. My final interview for Page is with Mandy McNabb from a company that I have gotten to know a little bit since GameholeCon, and it is Gooey Cube.
Gooey Cube.
First of all, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
I had met before this, so very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
So we'll jump in. We're going to talk about Gooey Cube because, from my personal experience, I had seen Gooey Cube at some cons, but I had never had an opportunity to pop over and introduce myself in the outlet and things like that. And then when I was at GameholeCon, you guys were there, and I saw Lawrence, and I met Lawrence and talked with him a little bit, just get a feel for the company and introduce the outlet. Say, hey, you get stuff coming up. I'm always looking for news to share with the audience. And he sent me home with these 4 massive boxes.
One of them was 11 pounds. 11 pounds of gooey goodness.
I know all about it because I had to take it out to the car. Thankfully, it was GameholeCon, not Gen Con. We're going, I go to the hotel, which is half a mile away. I got to say, I've shared first looks of all 4 of those boxes, got reviews on the Horizon Gang. I was blown away by what's inside.
Thank you. Our War Master, our CEO, our wonderful
Grand Poobah.
yes, Alphinius Yu.
Yes.
He is a game master himself, and honestly, these box sets I think he makes for himself to enjoy, and then we just share them with everybody. And so he puts his whole heart and soul into it. We fill it with lots of art. We're all artists at Gooey Cube. We all believe a picture's worth 1,000 words, as they say.
Yes.
We love supporting human artists. So every piece of art that we have is drawn by human and not any AI. And we love vibrancy. We love richness in our materials. And so that's really what we strive for, is giving something that a game master can use very functionally, but making it pretty as well. So
right. And if you've seen any of the unboxings that I've done, there are sometimes 100 handouts for the players, which are images to show POV. You have NPC cards. So you have, and we're not talking little cards, we're talking
5x7.
So
yeah,
straight on. Oh, hey, well, so you're talking to so and so, and here you go. This is what they look like. It's the kind of stuff that you would expect from a really, really high-end virtual tabletop. Where the game master goes that extra mile to I really want to bring you into this adventure.
well,
But physical items.
yeah. So a little backstory on Gooey Cube is that we started we are an advertising agency. So we are marketers. We have a client list, and we produce ads and everything for them. And my primary job is supporting our client base, and that's through social media, through commercials, radio ads, etc. And we have a whole design team behind us. And so basically, Alphinius comes to us with this idea of this gaming company, and he's been gaming his whole life. He's an older gentleman, and he's been game mastering for 40 years or something crazy like that.
Hey, don't say. I've been game mastering for over 40 years.
Sorry. My bad. I'm sorry. It's the purple hair. It makes me say things.
No, I'm just
yeah.
kidding.
Since
It's obvious I'm old.
The white box, yeah. And so a lot of our adventures do harken back to some of those more original type adventures, because that's what he was playing when he was younger, and that's what kind of captured his heart about the game. But we had a whole staff ready to go that could support this idea of creating a game company. We had designers, we had artists, and so that's what we did, is we created this gaming company. It's been something it's all about passion, and it's something that we've loved getting to come into the community, meet new people, and just the passion that's in this space. And we put that passion into our materials. So, yeah.
And it shows. It really does show. Now, when did Gooey Cube hit the scene? Because it hasn't been that long.
It was 2019. We launched at Gen Con 2019. If you see our product line though, for like 7 years worth of work, it is crazy. Like what we've been able to, and just a lot of that is again the marketing agency in us. Like we are used to like tight deadlines. We're used to like pushing out a lot of quantity of stuff, and so we've been very fortunate in what we've been able to achieve in the last 7 years.
And something else I had noticed with the products I've had an opportunity to take a peek at is they really try to aim to make the game master's life a bit easier. So as an example, if you haven't seen the unboxing videos, a lot of times with these bundle boxes, you'll open it up and it's a coil-bound book. Now I know some people out there are like, oh, I don't know, I wish it was a hardcover. But as a game master, when you have a coil-bound book, you open it up and it just stays open in front of you. And then you'll also have like it's like not random encounter kind of
Not so random encounters.
Yeah, not so random encounters. And all the like a lot of combat encounters and things like that are in that book. So you don't have to be searching all over and flipping around trying to find things.
And again, this comes down to the fact that Alphinius played for so long, and he's like, well, what do I want functionally as a GM? How do I design this to be functional for our game master? So we do the Fact and Life flat next to each other. We have an adventure book and we have a game master reference book. So you're not flipping back and forth in like a big hardcover book for your encounters versus your story. We have special item cards that are like the size of like a baseball card, and that way your players can keep track of their inventory a lot easier. We have something called Gooey Reward cards, which is like inspiration on cracks. So it's things like advantage on an attack roll, 1 permanent hit point, just things that kind of liven up inspiration, so it's not just advantage every single time. And you get a whole stack of these things in every one of our adventures. And again, it comes with the NPC portrait. The handouts are separate than the book. Like you get a stack of handouts that are not in the book, so you're not like trying to cover up your story and showing this little picture in the book. You're able to put down an 8x10 handout and say, this is what you're looking at, or here's the NPC that you're looking at. And so it really was about finding what is the most functional, interesting way to present this to your players, and for the GM to enjoy running, and putting that all into like a box set.
And you'll also find that there are player maps and game master maps.
Oh, Alphinius is like a map fiend.
You don't, oh my gosh, yes. So you don't have to worry about, because a lot of times game products, well, here's a map, and it's sort of like, yeah, but it's got GM information on it that I don't want the players to know about, so I can't really share this at the table.
Exactly.
That's not a problem with
because we give the GM and we give the player map, and again, it's all about how do we make this as functional and fun, and also easy to run.
Right.
I think we estimate that it takes about 70% of the prep work out of the game, and so and we've had people who've been like, I need to run something last minute, and they've been able to just pull it out and run a great story just right out of the box. So we don't always recommend that. We obviously want some prep if you can,
Sure, of course.
But
I have no idea why you guys are here, but let's start.
Yeah, so we always recommend reading at least the adventure ahead of time.
Sure.
But I mean, like I said, it can be run straight out just because of the way that we've organized it. And we've had people have great experiences. So yeah.
Now I do know on the horizon we have the Tomb of Gygax.
Yeah. So
I always just want to say Gygax, and it's like, no, it's an homage.
It's an
No
homage.
doubt. In fact, Luke.
Yes. And so we did our first, this was our third Kickstarter, but our first in the Gygax series.
Yes.
And we partnered with Luke Gygax for it. And it's an homage to
Gax Works, if I remember right. I
Luke
think
Gygax. Yep, exactly.
that's Luke's company.
You got this. Yeah.
Well, I've been doing this a
For
long time.
But you've also been talking about a lot of companies, I think, this weekend, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so we got to partner with Luke for this, and it's not just an homage to Gary Gygax. I mean, it is his NPC is in it as Gerald Gygax, but we got creators from all over this space. Like Professor DM is one of the NPCs in it. Kelsey Dion is an NPC in it, and we were able to get this.
Story gang, I'm not. I'm not an ogre.
Maybe in the sequel.
Well,
In the sequel that's
yeah.
coming. Yeah, no. But
This
yeah.
ogre that you guys got to face.
Hey, no, it's a troll and his name's Myron. No.
There you go.
Anyway, all this to say, we were very fortunate to get a collection of amazing creators to pay homage to. And then on top of that, the actual adventures are very much like kind of old school type dungeon crawls and bringing in a lot of those old elements. And then there's like little Easter eggs all over the place that like, you know, talk about where we've come. You know, and again, this is Alphinius, who's been playing for all these years, and just putting in little things that are very important to him and other gamers who've been playing for as long as he has. So, yeah.
I mean, it's important to keep in mind that these adventures and everything are stated for 5e. But I have the feeling, I don't know for sure because I haven't seen it yet, that Tomb of Geist and Gax is going to have maybe a little more of an old school mentality to it.
So we did, on the Tomb of Geist and Gax, we actually did 5e and old school essentials.
Oh, that's right.
So we actually have dual, yeah.
Dual steps.
Now, with that said, we are, so like our Darkenhaven box, our any award-winning Darkenhaven box.
Which I have unboxed.
Yes.
Got a video with a review on the horizon.
Yes. Only about 5% of that is like 5e compatible, and the rest of it is very system agnostic. Because the idea with that was that we created this huge sandbox, and we couldn't level stat anything because when you are a GM, you don't know what level you're bringing your characters in at. So we can't do the stats for, because you could be bringing in the level 1 characters into this giant city, you could be leaving level 20.
Right.
And so we mostly kept that system agnostic.
Yes.
So that way it could be plugged in to any world, any system, and you have like great lore, you have amazing location, all the stuff that we talked about in this incredible city. So, and I think that we'll probably see more of that kind of stuff coming forward as all these new systems, like we got Shadow Dark, that obviously is huge. We have Daggerheart coming out, and it, you know, 5th edition still is king currently, but we'll see what happens. So yeah.
Currently. She floated out currently.
We'll see. I'm curious is all I'm saying.
I hate to break it to everybody out there. I've been covering this industry for 16 years, Dungeons and Dragons, and I don't necessarily play or run D&D. Everybody who's familiar with me knows I'm a Call of Cthulhu guy. Dungeons and Dragons is not dead by any stretch of imagination.
So
it's not going any place.
We did.
That throne is theirs for the foreseeable future.
So we run at Gen Con, and one of our incredible community members went and did they did an entire breakdown of stats for us, how many games of each thing was being run, to make sure when we like go into the 5th edition space, you know, that it's still viable, you know, versus even 2024.
You want to go where the game is.
Exactly.
Of course.
And when we looked at the charts, Dungeons and Dragons up here, the next thing down here, like over half, like less games than what Dungeons and Dragons currently playing. And then we also got to look at the stats of who was playing them and how many of them were getting sold out. And absolutely, Dungeons and Dragons.
I'm not saying the gap doesn't narrow.
Yeah.
Because we know it does.
Well, like Daggerheart, for instance, had 2,000 games being run at Gen Con, I believe, and they had 2,000 games sold out. But
and the game itself was sold out right now. Yeah.
But Dungeons and Dragons had something like 25,000 games being run. And I mean, they weren't sold out, but I mean, like 22,000 games worth. You know what I'm saying? So, like, when you look at the actual stats, I agree with you that, like, I always put an asterisk because we don't know what's going to happen, but, you know, Dungeons and Dragons still.
That's why you never see me share a video on the outlet where it's like, why Dungeons and Dragons is dead. No. I'm not going to hit you with that clickbait, no, because I'd be lying.
So, I mean, and I would say currently the stats 100% support what you were saying. So,
but like we were just talking about, you've got to go where the gamers are. And I'm not knocking Daggerheart. I love Shadow Dark. I love Kelsey's work.
I think it feels more.
I'm glad to hear that you guys have stuff that's going to be still really system agnostic, but you're going to stat for, like you did for Tomb of Geist and Gax, statted for OSE.
Right. And I mean, the conversions, one of the things that we do at GUI Cube is that our books are very heavily adventure story based, very role play heavy oftentimes. And like I said, you have the adventure book and you have the GM reference book. If you, and this is what we've had several GMs do, you just take the GM reference book, throw it out, and you can stat anything for Shadow Dark or stat it for Daggerheart. Sorry, Shadow Dark, Daggerheart. We've had both of those, or OSE, and the conversions are very easy just because of the fact that most of our material that we are talking about
It's not stat block heavy.
heavy. Yeah, it's the portraits. The portrait can be used in any game across any system or
Right.
any handout or any location. So, I think we've really set ourselves up for success in the future.
Plus, with some of the classic monsters and such, that I know you have like new monsters too in the books.
Loads.
Like
Yeah.
classic monsters. And let's be very honest, there's not a ton of
Right.
there's not distance between, oh, it's a D&D goblin and a Pathfinder goblin and it's a Castles and Crusades goblin. No, they're all pretty much just slash your way through. You're not looking like, oh, well, the goblin in this game is like 7 hit dice. No.
Mm-hmm.
So super easy to convert that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. And I think that the value to me is more in the stories and more in the way that we set up our world and the way that we create functionality for the game masters to be able to run. And the stat blocks are so yeah.
So I had to ask, because we were talking a little bit about Tomb of Gygax. When is it arriving physically on the scene?
So we have been dealing with the tariffs. Don't get me started on tariffs. But
I get yelled at that I mention politics every once in a while.
Like as far as I know, and I think we're sending material over to the
Right.
distribution
So
center.
so it's still kind of tied up in customs
yeah.
or something.
And then we have a second boat coming over with everything else. And so we are very hopeful that it'll be here very soon. And we've been posting Kickstarter updates.
Well, you've beaten the
consistently.
Chinese New Year, so you're ahead of the game there.
They send us out an email every year to say, hey, let's
Just
make sure
so
that
you
you
know.
know the deadlines. Yeah. And so everything, it's interesting. Everything here at this convention has been printed and produced in the United States. The Tomb of Gygax was the very first thing that was successful enough that we needed to actually go overseas in order to even make it remotely affordable for people. And then that's all I'm going to say on that subject. So anyway, we talk about this, we have a Saturday morning stream that we do, me and Alphinius, and we do talk about this fairly frequently because, we want to be
Do a little
honest.
inside baseball talk, as we like to say.
Absolutely, because we want to be honest about what's going on. And I know a lot of creators in the space, they're having even more challenges than us. We are very, because we have this advertising agency, we are very well funded and are able to absorb a number of these additional costs that we weren't anticipating when we did this Kickstarter. But that's not the case for a lot of, smaller creators. And our hearts go out to people who are dealing with all this. It's a lot.
It's a headache that they weren't necessarily expecting.
And it's a lot of extra costs and a lot of extra things. And so, I'm excited to see at the expo here how many vendors are out here. It makes me happy. It fills my heart with joy to see so many people still doing well.
Yeah, and overall, the hobby's pretty healthy.
Yes,
at the moment.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And part
There's
of
no
that,
bubble we have to worry about breaking.
there's a huge, one of the things that has happened in the last, especially since COVID, is the digital landscape for the gaming industry has exploded as well. Digitals do not come with tariffs. It's amazing. So, so getting to see like those avenues being used more frequently, and it's been, we find a way to make it work. This is a hobby that we love, and
Obviously.
again, passion. So
Speaking of the hobby, I got a couple of questions I tend to always ask my guests to kind of wrap up. Maybe how did you get into gaming?
entirely because of Q. So like I said, we had the advertising agency, and I basically was like, I need to learn and understand this in order to be able to sell it to people. And so I started playing with the Red Star Rising campaign, which is our first adventure, and that's how I learned how to play D&D. So my board game collection has just like exploded. Me and my husband are obsessed. Escape rooms in a box and just board games and yeah.
So we got you onto that slippery slope.
Yeah. I mean, that was a great, by the way. So yeah, basically that's how I got involved with gaming.
So, kind of segueing from that, what is that you absolutely love that you have no affiliation with whatsoever?
Wingspan is my game of choice.
Stone Mayor game.
So it is relaxing for me, and this is I kind of love this too about collaborative gameplay in Dungeons and Dragons. You worry about your own character, or like with Wingspan, you're worrying about your own board. Like this is your board, and it's just relaxing to be able to play my board, build my engine, and I win almost every
Oh, well, now we know why it's.
time. So yeah.
Any final thoughts you want to share with the audience?
Yeah, come join us. We have a great community. It's called the GUI Game Masters Den of Enlightenment on Facebook. It's like
That rolls off the tongue.
I know it's a long one. I was not a part of that decision to make that game. So the GUI Game Masters Den of Enlightenment. We're a great group of people. We are let me just say this. In this community, we have found the friendliest people. Like genuinely, we love talking with people. People are so generous with their time.
Until you met me.
You've been great.
You're like, oh man, it just brought my thoughts down a notch here.
I'm the one who I think insulted how long you've been playing D&D. So
Oh,
I think it's more
that's
on
funny
me.
thing. I haven't played D&D for very
Or
long.
gaming.
We moved away like
Uh-huh.
2 years after we were playing it. We were already on to other stuff.
I
So,
love that.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah, my outlet's not a 5e outlet by any stretch of the imagination.
that. And there's there's room for all gaming
That's
in a
right.
place like the Philadelphia.
Of course,
area
there
gaming
are so
expo.
many different games and different stripes going on here. It's phenomenal. It really is.
Absolutely. So,
Mandy McNabb, thank you very much
Absolutely.
for joining me. I would say come down. They've got all this stock here, but it's the last day.
yeah.
So if you're not right in the neighborhood and it's snowing, sadly, it won't be. I do want to mention this is my last interview here at Page. So I'm going to wrap up my portion of the interviews. I know Jen's coming up next. I think he's got Heidi Gygax Garland going to kick off the festivities. But thank you very much for joining us. Once again, if you want to check out more of my stuff, you got thegaminggang.com. It is thegaminggang.com. And of course, it's The Gaming Gang on YouTube. Thanks, everybody, and thank you once again.
Absolutely. Everyone have a great day.
guys are muted and camera on.
Cool.
Well, I'm here with Heidi Gygax Bones. Thank you for having me. So for those who are not familiar with your work, can you share a little bit about what you do?
Sure. Just a few years ago, my husband Eric and I started Gaxland, which is our publisher game company. We publish modules, and we actually are doing our first board game, which is going to be delivering by late February. And it's Dragon Derby, the sport of wizards. Also, and then we're going to be going through more of our modules for D&D, compatible for 1E and 5E. Yes. We also run a convention called Agathon in honor of my father's birthday, which is also Gary Gygax Day in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. So we do the convention here in July. So it's a small con, but we've got a great list of special guests. If you want to check out anything on it, it's on Tabletop Events. Join us. Yeah. Yes.
So tell us about the concert. I know it was very successful. What's your secret?
Well, we've done 4 Kickstarters now, and they've all been successful. And I think because we have a base. The first one we didn't know what to expect, and we were very successful. We came to the next. We had a lot of the same people who backed us for the first one, came in and back to the next. So fortunately, we seem to have good reviews from people who are playing our games and liking our products. So we just plan on doing the same. Play test at conventions, get people involved, in your development and put the word out there. Yeah.
What's the most
The most challenging part is just there's the unknown of whether it's going to hit. And usually by the time we launch, we've invested quite a bit into the process. We pay our artists up front. So I think that when you hit go and you hit the end, just the wondering if it's going to make it across the finish. But promote, like I said, talk about your games, run them at conventions, let people know what's happening, and then people who are wanting to cross their product, if it looks good, if it's that's sort of easy. And podcasts, obviously, are a good vehicle to let people know that
So you said you created that.
No, it's actually just in 2023. So we're pretty new. I was, we both had careers in different fields. And Eric and I just got married in 2023. And we initially wrote our first module that was going to be a gift for our wedding reception attendees. And it was with artwork in it. So we thought, this is really great. So we expanded it a little more, and then we're at a Kickstarter, and that's how our business went. Yeah. So that's why our first module, GG1, is called That's the Most Part. And it has a lot of little Easter eggs in it that involve like the Gygax family and stuff, because originally it was going to be given out to our family.
My wedding, and I wanted to do something similar.
Yeah.
So how are you enjoying the position?
It's been really nice. A lot of great people here. Have a lot of fun running games. We ran our board game 8 times, and we ran with play testing for the project that we hope to launch this year. It's a big project. We're planning a hardcover book, but it's in the Hamlet of Omelet, and this was a salt on the apple. So we're play testing on it. And twice, and a lot of good feedback, and
I thought word of it. I have to see the people. I know Eric's done the shopping for that. And I told him shopping between the house. There's a lot of great things here. I like a lot of them. Yeah, so we picked up business cards and things for people that we want to work with. Right. We got some, we love the current artists that we work with. It's always good to add different flavor. Black and white artists and things. So, yeah. Let's see, we have 6 that we have co-authored. One that we published, we have 2 that we published under guest, which is one we published somebody else's writing under ours. Eric's son, Jason, did one. We kickstarted and, together, that would actually be a fine picture. And Con, Christopher Clark, did most of the writing and editing and stuff. So it was Clark and everybody else in the album. So next one I'm working on next week. I'm going to be working with Bill Sylvia to co-author that. So my next thing I have to do is get back.
You must be so excited.
Yes. Yeah, it is. It's great. It's you come up with an idea and you see how the other people work. Eric and I luckily work really well together. And then the parts that I write together. So, and he does all the mapping. Yeah. Yes.
Which modules were most exciting to you?
I think just the ones that are most challenging are the ones that we've started and haven't been able to get back to because we've been sidetracked with things. So really looking forward to finishing up the things that are in process. But I would say we really put just a huge amount of work into our Shadows over Lake Geneva modules because we wanted to do it's 1948, it's D&D and 1948 Lake Geneva, which is where my dad grew up, my mom and dad were there. They were about 10 years old at the time. So if you run the game, your players may have the opportunity each one to run into a 10-year-old Gary guide after the scenario. So and we did some historical research. A lot was accurate up to where we had and there are actually tunnels of Lake Geneva that we use, that levelers use and stuff. So we just expanded upon that and added interesting features and things like that.
Yeah, it sounds like my
Okay. Yeah. So they're still down there, but when we talk to business owners, usually they close them off for safety reasons, but they actually read all around underneath that. Because you never know what you might find. Really quickly look at our novels. There might be some goblins.
So what would you say
I would say get your ideas down and start get a group together and play testing. experience. Whether it's a one-time thing, take it to a con, if you don't come to regular, take it to a convention and run it. You get a lot of great feedback. You can even ask people. We've done that sometimes. What did you like today? What would you change? What was the most fun part for you? What was the most frustrating you've done? And then when you publish it, you can give them credit as playtesters. We've done that before. Also, some libraries have groups, get involved and I think just get it out there and start testing and see how it plays. And then if it does well, start talking to other people who want to self-publish or talk to somebody who publishes and see if you can get them to come in your project and maybe we'll put them to publish.
Is it easier in the self-published than
I don't know. I've never asked anybody to publish this. We found it because we learned the skills that we needed to do all the layout and everything ourselves. You can upload it and do printing in the USA and have it delivered, especially if you're doing small quantities, like 1,000, even though our Kickstarter might be 300 that we're filling, but then we come to 1,000.
what's your usual?
I'm trying to maybe make it a little smaller, but we've been doing, this is the second year we've come to Page. Definitely do with FairyCon, EdCon. One of us is going to go to Texas this year. Who else? Oh, VisionCon in Michigan. And I think that's all we have planned. No, we have Dragon Days in Lake Geneva also. But so, we also have kids at home and adults, so we're looking to, and also the more cons that we're doing, it takes a while to get some right. So we're going to take a look at it this year. I don't think we're going to add more cons this year. We'll have some more new products out. But we're going to go to the one thing. I would say that Page is still the third year. It's really lively event. Great people. Games are very fun. I think this yeah, and what did you double? So yeah, very, very impressive. And this area has potential because of big population centers and a lot of enthusiastic gamers and people traveling. I would say this is one, and especially if this is one of the closer, this is definitely. I like to play in games. I used to only play in games up until FairyCon, but people were encouraging me to do it. I'd never been to DM before. So I contacted some friends who were experienced in doing it to give me the confidence. Because growing up in our household, I didn't have the school of the book. I just played with my dad. And then I played with, other people. So as a player, it was very easy. Now, of course, working in the industry and writing, I do a lot more research and read a lot more. And build a confidence. It's still something that doesn't come as naturally to me as some people do. I think I just get.
I can totally understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been playing a couple times, but I feel like I'm still inexperienced.
Yeah. Especially when you get a lot of good plans for so long, and they're like, isn't this supposed to be this way? And make sure you're doing it right.
Yeah.
But you can always use house rules. This is my game. Let's see. I'd say if you like when something's doing that, and if they roll a natural 20, we'll give them max damage. Then it's just roll the damage. So if it was like, you know, a D8 that they would get to roll, we just call it against.
Whatever is yours. So he has a person that's renewal and antagonistic change NPCs.
Oh, there you go.
To be a friend that doesn't have it.
Okay. And sometimes it's always okay to improvise. We had somebody at a con game once, and he was a kid, but he was just being really obnoxious, trying to do things just be distracted. So you know, all of the statue fell over. You know, and I took care of that problem because it was ruining the game for the fans because they were on a mission to find something. And it was like, go over here and start hammering away at this. I don't know. So, but it's your game, and I feel like that, like, you know, rather than following every rule to the T, it's more important that you're all having fun. That's what the game is about. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, and that's just like when people ask me a lot about which edition. You know, it's more about which edition you're like whichever one you enjoy. That's
Which means you need to
Like I remember two, and then we moved to 5, and now the first one is like
yeah. So there's nothing wrong with 5e. We write and we usually have conversions that we do. So we write something for 5e for 5e players, but we'll have an online conversion for one. Yeah, it's and if we contact us and it's the code for that, that's what we did for
I actually like
So I do our
yeah, the original is just I've never played it.
yeah, OD&D, we have one game that we did at OD&D. And Bill Silver did it. And Melver. Yeah. He's done it. Yeah. But Drive Through RPG has all of our stuff, but when you buy a physical copy, you contact us and send you a code to get that information.
And you have favorite D&D.
I'm trying to think of, I have a few specific ones. Playing with my dad is really fun. We do a lot of puzzles and traps and things, but he also likes to tease. You know, I had a character named Merkel that I was playing because I looked it up in this book. One of the books I used to like this main characters, all pop lollies and belly bones. It's all words that are legally rarely used anymore in English language. And Merkel's meant like freckles or potatoes. I played this little half elf. I said with freckles, but of course my dad was too busy like, so you see this, half elf girl coming and she's got like spots all over her face, like TV. But I think just playing with somebody who keeps it moving and very story. That was also in the same convention as my little brother. And it's not my favorite memory, but my brother Lucas King is 10 and I made it, he was crying. 8 or 10 years old at the time, I think. I mean, my dad wasn't mean, but he did play by the rules. If he went down a pit, there was no way to get out. I don't know. I think just I wish I had more time to play with my dad. But I live and Hawaii. Yeah, my brother Ernie and my sister Elise, my sister, and a couple of the neighbor kid Raccoon. I even think Mike American was there as well. Yeah, it was, I think it was Ernie, Elise, and Rob. I did. Yes, I worked. Well, before even working at TSR, every time we was done, I was helping out at the hot dog, the stand, the concession stand. Doing that. Then later, I worked summers, and then I worked there full time. So when I worked summers, it was a coffee shop, it was mail order. So, and then I worked full time. I was full time organizing and marketing. And that was, and then once the takeover, I left TSR, I ended up first Chicago, Hawaii. Like they have it's nice. It's expensive though. So I worked. I worked at the same company for 4 years. And I did get to travel. I was on the it's interesting, but I really like being what I'm doing now because I call myself retired, but with a 10-year-old or 12-year-old business and prevention, we're not as retired. Yes. And I think I have a lot of people around me that encourage me because it's very intimidating. Oh, well, it's in your DNA. But it's very intimidating, I think, having those titles. So that's something that is encouraging. We'll have that. So that imposter syndrome, real.
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
I started my
Yeah.
I know about being blind. It's something that turns into a thing in my life. Make things a little bit easier. Like me, that need a little bit more
Accommodation.
Yeah, exactly. So we haven't figured it out as we go. As far as like, I've been doing this for
Yeah. Yeah. It is a very welcoming community. You usually find more people. So, there's always exceptions to the rule. I find that very friendly, very
I really enjoyed
yeah, I'd like to have sometimes clearing our schedule a little bit and have more time to do the game. And I actually, something that's on my list that I talked to my girls about when I FaceTimed them yesterday is I want to get the kids and have them start a game at our house. Have their friends come over and do a game. Yeah, and get them started. But eventually, maybe cultural will pick up one at the house like that. Couldn't start it.
that's always fun.
Yeah.
One of our friends' sons is so into the business. She does painting.
It's always fun, and I like seeing the next generation happen. I think with especially with Stranger Things, a lot of very popular with the kids and all the adults too. I liked it. It's a good time to because it's much more normalized now than it was, especially as a but, who knew it would become the Indian role playing? No.
I mean, I started because my you have a roommate who oh no, you're like so I went to the library.
That's excellent. Our library has one for teens, and of course, I told mom we just it says 14 plus. They would let you in, I'm sure, but I think a better idea was to get her direct.
Yeah. And I think that's like everyone feels more comfortable with everything.
Yeah.
So I know I'm much more like I play a lot more openly with my friends than I would with strangers. I don't want to be
Right. None of us want to. But sometimes being able to jump in and do silly things makes you feel.
especially when they're virtual.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh well, if I got it.
Right.
And yesterday we were in a game. Somebody
Yeah. 10 by 10 room, where's the ball? Fireball.
yeah. I think it was
Yeah, casting a fireball in a small space. Well, sad in one way, but it's good that we've got our schools there. Animals are welcome, so that's one reason why I don't make schools all the time. Yeah, it's fun. It's always fun, and it's hard, but I live in a community we don't usually do all the same time, so we have very fun. Tomorrow, is right in town. That's easy.
yeah. Eventually I want it.
There's Econ, which is smaller. Some Econ.
I'm gonna have to ask my husband.
Yeah.
This is the tourist.
Yes. Right. It's summertime there, so like even summertime. But it is a little bit.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Eventually I hope to get everyone. I think I got the nod from John.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
It was
Okay.
wonderful.
That's great stuff. All right. Thank you.
guys are.
All right, we're back, and I have Andreas here.
Hello. Nice to meet you. Yeah.
So for those who are unfamiliar, can you share a little bit about Varn?
Yes, of course. Well, depending if you listen to podcasts or if you listen to music or if you are interested in Dragonbane, it might differ. I do a lot of official soundtracks for the RPGs from Free League Publishing in Sweden. I'm based in Stockholm, Sweden. So I do a lot of soundtracks for Dragonbane, Forbidden Lands, and Twilight 2000, and games like that for Free League Publishing. I also have my own publishing company called Nordic Skulls, where we make third-party products for Dragonbane called Windhane, which is currently the biggest setting available, the only big setting available for Dragonbane in English. We also have two core games of our own out. Yggdrasil Burns, which is a Mörkborg hack, basically. And then we have a game that won RPG of the Year in Sweden, called My Father's House. And then I have a podcast called Sweden Rolls, which is an actual play podcast where we play predominantly Swedish games that are published in English.
Which one do you like?
That's like choosing between my kids. How I can do that? I think currently I've not been doing as much music producing. It's mostly been writing and podcasting. So I would say right now, if I would get to work on another soundtrack, that would excite me the most right now, but that's mostly because I haven't done it in a year or so.
Do you have a preferred genre?
A preferred.
Like Gold Wave, Reaper, Logic?
Oh, okay. When I work with music, I use Logic. Yeah, I use Logic, and I have some plugins from East West and Spitfire. But I also record a lot with acoustic instruments. So I put that in Logic, along with kind of some ambient strings from Logic. No, actually, I didn't go to school for that. I'm just a musician that is self-taught. I've been playing Irish pop music for quite a few decades, and got into like medieval music about 7 years ago. So I think that's why Free League first approached me about making a soundtrack for Forbidden Lands, because they knew that I was doing a lot of medieval live music in Stockholm. Whatever's left is what I usually answer when people ask me that. Again, jack of all trades, master of none. I'm not a virtuoso in any instrument, but I do fiddle a bit with harp, different stringed instruments like mandolin, banjo, guitar. I play some percussion, I play some flutes. I play a very old traditional Swedish instrument called nyckelharpa that translates to key harp. If anyone wants to check that out, you could probably key harp. It's kind of like a hurdy-gurdy instrument, but instead of cranking a wheel, you play it with a bow. So there are keys that you press that touch the string, and then you play the strings with a bow. So it's a very special instrument. And there are a few key harp players around the world, but Sweden is the only country where we still have like a living tradition of it, like a number of traditional playing the harp. Yeah, you should. There's some great players out there. I think a Swedish guy called his name slips my mind right now, but he's been doing a lot of nyckelharpa work for big time TV shows in Hollywood. Yeah, it's really no, I can't remember his name. We're friends, and I can't remember his name. It's very embarrassing. You have? Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. I did the Bitter Reach soundtrack and the Blood Mart soundtrack, the two supplements that have come out for that. There was another guy doing the original soundtrack for the core game because I was not involved with Free League. So yeah, but from the Bitter Reach was the first soundtrack I did for Free League, and then after that, I think I've done all the other soundtracks since. I think.
And you said you have a lot of games out. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course, yeah. So Yggdrasil burns, Yggdrasil being the world tree of Norse mythology. That is a Viking hack or Viking setting for Mörkborg. So the setting is basically that the Christian god is angry with the Viking, ransacked the monasteries in England and France. So he just burned all of Scandinavia, put the Norse gods and goddesses in chains, put them in hell, had Loki guard them, and so the players are basically playing ex-Vikings. They used to be really tough, but now they're just trying to survive in a post-apocalyptic Viking world where they kill you, and you especially have to watch out for the bishop Ansgar, this bishop mostly known for Christianizing Sweden, and he's out to get you. He wants to get you so he can baptize you. So you have to watch out for him. Because if you get baptized, that's it. That's game over. That's a fate worse than death. And then My Father's Sword is a cute little pick up and play humorous retro game where you're supposed to lead into the tropes and cliches of 80s adventure movies. So the book is basically filled with references, some more clear than others. Some you really have to look for and know your stuff to find, and some are super obvious. But it's basically a game where you play epic hero, epic things in a humorous and ridiculous way. And if you do things that are very cliche, you are awarded with clay points, which you then can spend to do crazy stuff. It's a perfect game if you have a session planned with your campaign group, and one of the players cancels. So you still want to have your RPG night, but you don't want to continue the campaign. That's when you pull out My Father's Sword, because the GM can read it and learn it in 30 minutes, and then you're ready to go. And then it takes the players 30 to 40 minutes to create their character and create the party, and then you're good to go. That's all the prep you need. And there are tables at the end where the game master can create trope-like adventures. And that, yes, these are Yggdrasil Burns is in English only. My Father's Sword is in both Swedish and English. And then we have our party, the Windheim books that I told you about earlier. Those are also available in English. We're very happy with them. The Windheims actually we won 8 awards during the Phoenix Awards, which is the big RPG award in Sweden. So yeah, Windheim actually took home 7 gold and 1 silver, I think. Yeah, we even came out ahead of Free League and their monster book. They had their bestiary out and their Path of Glory campaign book, and our Windheim books actually, took the first spot above those in all of the categories. So yeah, we're very happy with it.
So how did you first get involved with
Well, I started playing in '94. I joined a group. I've been wanting to join a group for many years, but the only group that was playing in my area, in my school, they were playing AD&D, and they were like, "No, you can't join. You can't jump into the middle of something. You'll never understand what this is about. You'll never be able to understand this. You can't join." And some of those, they were friends of mine, real actual friends. And I'm like, no, it won't work. You can't join. Yeah. So I had to wait until '94 when I met some new friends, and they invited me to join. Yeah, I've been playing ever since. And professionally, I would say Sweden Rolls is my first introduction into the game industry more. Because Sweden Rolls, N World, they have they have their own podcast, Morrow's podcast, and at the end of each year, they ask listeners to name their favorite RPG podcast of the year. So there's two categories, one for discussion podcast and one for actual plays. So our very first year we had the podcast, we came in second place in that list. Next year we came in third. And then in, 2021, I think, we managed to snatch first place of that list. And then you're not eligible for the list anymore. You end up in the Hall of Fame together with The Adventure Zone and the other podcasts that I've won the previous years.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. That was really, really nice. So that was about 5 years ago. And we've been releasing an episode a week in English for 8 years now.
So what day is
Well, we release it at 10 p.m. Swedish time, so that would be 4 p.m. Eastern time here. Yeah, but it's it's a podcast, so you can listen to it like whenever. So yeah, we have 8 years worth of content out. We've never taken a break for Christmas or summer ever, and we managed to keep up a weekly broadcast schedule for 8 years.
What's your secret? I have YouTube.
Yeah, well, with YouTube, you have to have video as well. Editing audio takes a lot less time, and it's a lot less prep. It's a lot less work when you do audio only, really. So I'd say, that's one of the secrets. The other one is to have material, have a big buffer of material to content to release. And since we do actual play, it doesn't really matter if we recorded it like 2 years ago or 2 days ago. That doesn't matter because we don't talk about the news. We don't talk about what's happening right now. So you can basically listen to it at any time.
I love that.
Yeah.
Especially the audio versions are great because you're not dependent on visuals.
Yeah.
You can just sit back and relax.
Yeah.
Understand what's going on because no one sees you.
Exactly, and you can do it in the background while you're doing the dishes or vacuuming or taking your bike to work or like whatever you like. I genuinely think that most people listen to podcasts not as the primary thing they're doing at the moment. I think podcasts is something you do in the background while you do something else. I think. Yeah.
I say I watch actual.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, same here. I'm enjoying it immensely. I've basically just been going back and forth between the convention and the hotel, so I haven't seen much of Philly. We did go to Gazzo's yesterday to get a Philly cheesesteak. Because there was a thread in the Facebook group for Page where someone asked for recommendations for the best place to go. And it seemed like most people recommended this place called Gazzo's. So me and one of the other guys, we went there last night and I had an amazing Philly cheesesteak. Apart from that, I've just been going from the convention to the hotel and back and forth. But I've enjoyed the convention immensely. Yep. I've been since I haven't been scheduled for that much. I've mostly gone around listening to panels, doing some interviews on my own podcast with Sweden Rolls, and talking to vendors, hanging out with people, talking with people. That's basically been my convention. Ooh, so many things. It's hard to choose. I mean, some of the miniature setups are just ridiculously well made, and I could see myself just spending 2 full days just playing like combats in the miniature setup that they have. I really like those. Um, it's also been a pleasure to talking to many of the very prominent other guest stars that you have here. Like talking to Kelsey Dion about Shadow Dark and Baron Durant about his and B News. I just interviewed B News right now before I came here. So yeah, meeting so many great people of the industry has been yeah. 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 Sure. And I actually even met a fellow Swede here. I didn't know I was going to do that. Anna B. Meyer, the cartographer. She just grabbed me. I was going out of the elevator up on the 5th floor of my hotel, and she just went, "Oh, ja men hejsan, är du från Sverige?" That's hello. Are you from Sweden? In Swedish, and I was like, my brain just went in circles, and I was like, "What? Yeah, hi, yeah." Oh yeah, I've listened a bit to your podcast. I'm Swedish as well. I'm here for the convention. I'm just heading down now, but we should talk later. And I was just like, yeah, we should. And then I ended up listening to one of your panels. And then we spent like half an hour talking after that. So yeah, that was an unexpected joy.
I met somebody who
Mm-hmm.
and that's great because I actually have a lot of friends there who also play.
Yeah,
And so we're gonna hang out after this.
that's amazing. I'm so happy for you.
I feel like I'm so close to it. Last year, it was
Yeah,
so
that's nice. I hope neither of you are in a hurry to go, so you can actually find a lot of time together.
yeah, we're gonna
Oh, that's amazing. Great. I'm super happy for you. No worries. I actually haven't. I mostly been doing panels, participating in panels on the scenes panels, and then just talking to people. I have not been able to sit in on any games, unfortunately, but because that's one of the things that I really love about this convention, is that it's so focused on game sessions. I really prefer those kind of conventions rather than say like Comic-Con, where it's only commerce, sales stuff. So, I mean, it's great to have vendors here. Don't get me wrong. I like talking to vendors. I like watching what they have. But for me, and I think that comes from coming from Sweden, where most of the big conventions in Sweden, like GothCon, are also focused on game sessions. There are vendors there as well. There are game creators there, but like 95 of the visitors, they come there to do game sessions. So that's really one thing that I really appreciate with Page, is that it's so focused on game sessions.
Yeah, we actually just tried signing up for a couple games this year. We
Yeah.
didn't get to do that last year.
Yeah.
Panels last year.
Yeah. So I will basically do that next year. So I will do what you do now this year, I'll do next year.
It's fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like there's so much to do that you kind of have to fit into your
No, we can't do it all. No.
So,
Favorite TTRPG?
yeah.
Oof. It's changed a bit. It used to be the One Ring for so long, and then I mean, I love Free League. I love what they've done with it. But for me, the first edition by Cubicle 7 was the game that brought me back after my hiatus. Because much like many other people, I had kids and I was forced into having like a TTRPG hiatus. And the One Ring was the game that brought me back. And since I'm a huge Tolkien fan, I just fell in love with that. And for me, the Free League second edition has improved in some of the things that needed to be improved on, but they've also changed some of the things that I really loved about first edition. So, I mean, I really like Monster of the Week. I find that to be an amazing game. Just I like low crunch games, but it still has, enough. It's not a one-page game because I like games that are, mid-tier when it comes to crunch, like between mid-tier and low crunch. That's where you hit my sweet spot, and I think that might be one of the reasons why I've slightly gone away from the One Ring. It's slightly crunchier than my preference right now. So so I like Monster of the Week. I like a Swedish game called Troubleshooters. It's basically based on Are you familiar with the Belgian Frankian comic books like Tintin or Spirou or those kind? Yeah, so it's basically you play Tintin and Captain Haddock, and you're going around the world in the '60s, and you're chasing the bad guys. So it's like 80% Tintin, 15% '60s James Bond, and it's just a very, very nice adventure game. And again, it's like between mid to low crunch level of rules, which really fits me. It's very narrative, which I also like, and I also like games that are super clear. Like you take one look at that game and you understand instantly what it is. Another Swedish game I like is Cult Divinity Lost, horror game that's based on the old Cult, which was written in the 1990s in Sweden, only published in Swedish back then. The game that really kicked off the much like there was a satanic panic in the 80s around like heavy metal music and stuff like that. That game was what kicked that off in Sweden in like 91, 92, when there was a panic that TTRPGs would drag your youth into Satanism and weird rituals and all that stuff. So Cult Divinity Lost is a new iteration of the game by Helmgast. We like that one. I like a space game for Free League called Coriolis. I actually did the soundtrack for The Great Dark, the new iteration of Coriolis. So it's out to backers since a while back, but it's coming to Spotify, I hope in February. I'm hoping I'll be able to push that out there. So. Well, since I almost only GM nowadays, I would say I'm having more fun when I get to be a player. But if I would have to choose to only do one or the other for the rest of my life, I would probably choose to be a GM, because I'm a storyteller, narrator. I like to tell stories to people, and you get to do more of that when you're a GM. But yeah, I much more enjoy being a player than a GM right now, but that's just because I've not been doing it that much. Which makes it completely weird that I haven't taken the opportunity to actually be a player while I've been here this weekend. But I think I just prefer to have an open schedule so I can walk around and just meeting people and talking to people. Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing. So many nice people here. Favorite moments from my games, like written or run in roles, or Well, it was one moment in season 3 when we played Forbidden Lands. Forbidden Lands is a game that we've been playing more than any other game in Sweden Rolls. I think we're still the podcast that has released the most Forbidden Lands content out of every podcast because we were the first ones out there. And in season 3, I don't want to spoil it, but there's a moment where one of the players really tricked me. Like it was a Laura Bailey and the Hag moment basically. He just tricked me into doing something, like tricking an NPC into doing something. I had no idea what he was onto. Neither did the other players. They were like, what are you doing? Why are you? And he said, trust me, I've got this. And then the NPC went away, and then he did a thing, and everyone was just, their minds were just blown, and I was cursing at him so bad. I was like, you this, you that. I can't believe you did this to me. I love that because we started off as a podcast where all the players are professional actors, but they never actually played TTRPGs before. So they've actually learned how to play TTRPGs as we're going along. So if you listen to Sweden Rolls, you'll see the progression. And that was kind of a moment for me, like when your child starts walking, or when your child starts, learns how to tie their shoes, or learns how to read, or whatever. It was like, oh, that's my baby. They now they know it. Now they understand it. Like now they, yeah. Ooh. I do have one. I just don't remember it. Let me think for just a second. Um, mm, 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 mm. I do have one for some games. I can't remember which one it is. Well, I have one for Coriolis actually, because you said you like Coriolis. I don't let them accumulate darkness points like to no end, because when I've heard podcasts, there's always been like, oh, I pray to the icons, oh, more darkness points, and the GM just sits there with like 17 darkness points, and like at that point, there's no risk. Like there's no darkness point is supposed to be like, oh, I don't want to give this darkness point to the GM, but I really want to succeed with this, so I have to pray. So, okay, I'll do it. But when the GM has 17 darkness points, there's no incentive for, like, why shouldn't you pray? Because there's no difference between the GM having 17 or 18 darkness points. So I put a cap at whatever amount of players there are in the group. And whenever we hit that cap, like if there are 4 players in the group at the moment, as soon as the GM gets that 4th darkness point, I have to spend those darkness points, not all 4, but I have to spend so I go down below 4 at the latest during the next scene. So that forces me to throw shit at them and to try and screw with their plans in a way that I wouldn't otherwise. So that's a house rule that I'm not sure, because I've been using it so long, so I'm actually not sure if it's of my own creation or if it's something that I borrowed from another one. But I like it.
Well, we're just about at time.
Yep. Thank you so much for having me. I've enjoyed this so much. Yeah. Yeah, always love talking about TTRPGs. Thank you so much. Thank you. And you likewise. Thank you.
Great. So I'm here with Jason Associate. Welcome.
Nice to meet you. Hello. Certainly. So I am one of the partners of, the founder and one of the partners of Solarian Games, and we publish Top Secret, which is the latest edition of the original spy role-playing game that was created in 1980. We have a new version for the 21st century. We also used to publish Gygax magazine, and we do other games as well.
I remember reading about a couple of the other games.
I hope so. Thank you.
No, it was like jelly something.
Oh, Spooky Beans?
Yes.
Yes, Spooky Beans. So Solarian Games is two partners, myself and Peter Bryant. We were three partners. James Carpio was a little bit like my co-founder. Sadly, he passed away about a year and a half ago. And but he created Spooky Beans and a lot of other great things. Tales from Fallen Empire. He just made all kinds of stuff and was a real force in the industry. So we miss him and we try to keep his legacy alive. In fact, we have an award show that we do in his honor every year. Second year. So I guess that's every year. We call it the Golden Fez because he was known for his fez, and it'll be held at TotalCon. This is the second year for it, and we have kind of fun titles for the different awards. Like there's the Pick Up and Play Award, which goes just for being able to play quickly, or there's the Honey, I Shrunk the Dice Award for micro games, the Velvet Smooth Award for best design, the Bucket of Blood Award for best combat. So yeah, you can go to goldenfez.com if you have a game to submit for an award for that as well. Yeah. And oh, good. Then please come to our award ceremony. I always run Top Secret, of course, because that's what I publish and want to get more people playing. And the games sell out. We get repeat players through all the great games, so I'll be running that.
I'll try and get it to you. I don't know. I'm late getting it back.
Oh, I usually try to deliberately tap the seats at 4 or 5 so that I can have an extra seat available if somebody shows up late. So just hit me up. First,
So tell me about Top Secret. I know it was where did you guys get a 13?
Yeah, well, that's awesome. You pretty much nailed it right there. That's we have a system that James Carpio created the mechanics on. So Merle Rasmussen, the original creator, Merle and I and James wrote it together. And the underlying system, we called it Lucky 13 because you're always trying to get a 13 to succeed. You have attributes and skills, which we call trade credit. So they're not expressed in the game as numbers, they're expressed as dice. So for example, if you want to pick a lock, we would say you're going to use your reflex, which is how dexterous you are, which might be, let's say, a d6. And then you're going to use your combat skill, because lock picking is a combat skill, and maybe that's a d8. And then for the third dice, we say how difficult is it, how hard is it lock?
Product
and we say
purchase.
it's d6. So then you throw those 3 dice together, and if you get a 13, you pick the lock.
So it's kind of like, I'm reminded of Kids on Cruise, where every attribute guy.
Yes, exactly. And a Savage World, things like that. So all of these work a little bit differently, but I do like the idea of die types rather than, you don't have to roll the math, basically. You just say, I'm going to grab those dice, I'm going to try to get a 13. I'm not fiddling around with my pluses and minuses. If I want to do better, I can say, well, let's say I have a really good lock pick set. Then I would say, well, now your difficulty's got easier. I'm going to give you a bigger dice. Now you can have a D12, which is the biggest dice that you can have. So I think it's a lot faster and easier to play that way. And remember, too.
And so, is the fact that you have to get a 13, is that the reason why you play D20?
Correct. Yeah, because if you think about all the other dice, they go up in steps of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and then there's this big 6-point leap up to D20. So we just leave the D20 out of it. Yeah. You can, well, I'm getting a little bit here, but basically if you have a D12 and it steps up, we give you another D4. So it's a little bit of an extra cheat there because it's 2 steps up, but it works okay.
I'm gonna have to visit your booth
We would love to. We'd love to see it. Yeah.
because I'm really curious about that. And I actually want to buy
Oh, spooky beans.
Yes.
We are sold out of spooky beans right now, but I'll bring some to Toby.
Okay.
I'll bring you one to Toby. It is a very fun game, very lighthearted.
So how did you get started?
Well, this is the second iteration of the company. I got back into gaming around 2008, and I started a podcast for first edition AD&D, and it was called Roll for Initiative, and it kind of quickly became the definitive 1E podcast. We met a lot of people in the industry because of it, and I had been invited to a convention on a little, quote-unquote celebrity panel, playing with Frank Mentzer and a few other people, and became friends with him. And Frank is part of that. And through the people I started to meet, I got this idea. I wondered what would happen if somebody tried to get the trademark for TSR again, the company that originally made it, because it had been abandoned. So as a lark, I just got a lawyer and I said, let's see if we can get it. And I did. And I was shocked. I'm like, wait a minute, I own the trademark for TSR for gaming. So I got a hold of the people I'd met in the industry, mostly folks from the old TSR, like Frank Mentzer, Gygax, Ernie Gygax, Cast, and folks like that. And we put our heads together and decided to do, instead of a game, we would do a magazine. So we did a magazine called Gygax because Luke and Ernie Gygax is Gary Gygax's son. And Tim Cast, who was the creator of The Dragon, came on as my mentor and kind of helped me learn how to do something in the way the Dragon did. It went great, but things happen as you go along. So eventually, Gygax magazine had to stop, and we thought, what are we going to do next in this world? And that's when Top Secret, the idea for that came up, because it was the first game I ever played, and very special and dear to me. And then in the middle of all that, we were still called TSR, and we were chugging along happily. We had a good relationship with Toes. We weren't stepping on toes or anything like that. We were never pretending we were the original. It wasn't anything silly. It was more like, wouldn't it be fun tonight to watch? Some unpleasantness went down with somebody who tried to steal the name from us through legal means that are long-winded and dull. And he turned out to be a very horrible person. He eventually was sued by Wizards for around $1 million. They settled out of court. It wasn't disclosed what, but it was bad. But he did so much damage to the name by walking around claiming that it was him and really just attacking people online and being transphobic. Honestly, very racist. It was horrible. That we thought we can't be associated with it. We can't go anywhere near it. So rather than trying to get in a big fight and be whatever, we said, we're going to step away. We're going to change our name. We're going to start a new company, Solarian Games. I wanted a much more optimistic, positive kind of name. And so we switched over to that, and everybody was very supportive and helpful, and it's gone really well because of that.
When I hear Solarian, I think it's so.
Thank you. That's exactly what I was hoping you would think of. Yeah, because I love the solar punk genre, or some people call it hippie punk. I've always thought that as we go forward into the future through technology and through just progressing as a species, that things should continue getting better. Technology should make our lives better. I'm not really about the grimdark, and so I wanted a name that kind of reflected that. I took it from one of Isaac Asimov's books. It was a group of people that lived on a planet called Solaria,
And I thought that's a nice name. It evokes solar, it evokes positivity, but it's also kind of fantasy, sci-fi, and futuristic. So it doesn't really mean anything specific. I just like the feeling.
Yeah. I mean, that's how maybe.
I think so. Yes. Yeah, I think so. Either that, or you just put your last name on it. And you're done.
So how do you enjoy the convention so far?
It's been great. We've come to Tage before and really loved it. Ron's a great organizer. He just knows how to get all the people together. I'm amazed at how fast this going. Just exploding in popularity. And all of the people that I like to see at conventions are here, all of the gamers, all of the other creators and vendors. It's been, it's always like a little reunion every time you're there with your other con friends. So I think Ron has really created the definitive Eastern Seaboard convention right now.
Oh, he has.
Yeah, it really has.
For sure, 'cause this was my first one.
Yeah. Oh, really? How far did you travel?
From New Hampshire.
Okay, you were a little farther than us. We came from New Hampshire. Nice drive. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Took a little time. It's so many things. I didn't expect to spend so much, but there's so many great things. There's somebody down here who's making custom-made mimic cat caves, and my wife and I have 3 cats, and we love them. They're very big cats. And so they make these cat caves custom sized. So they'll make us one big enough for our large breed. And another woman has scarves that have pockets in them. So you as a woman know, and I do as a man, that pockets are a rare commodity. So that was exciting to find. So of course, tons of great gaming stuff, but I like the diversity of the kinds of things that are here as well.
Yeah, like I'm a big fan of like knitted crochet things.
Yes.
So when I saw the little folders that they had,
Yes.
I have to.
Oh, good. You got it beholder?
I got both.
Oh, do you have pets?
My parents have a dog. We used to have a cat. But,
I think be careful that the dog finds the beholder. It'll be a very fun toy.
oh, I know. We have to hide it.
Yes.
But we have I have a YouTube channel in my studio.
Uh-huh.
So it's like a tavern room.
Yeah.
And so the step in was going to live on the couch.
Oh,
On
that's
the
great.
top of
During the
couch.
show.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So, it's like we have like a little bar down there.
Uh-huh.
The house is right there. And they're all just on top.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's perfect.
So when you started, what was that like?
Yeah, we've been really lucky when it came to getting things off the ground, both with Gygax Magazine and with Top Secret, because we were able to get some attention beforehand, which helps a lot. In the case of the Top Secret Kickstarter, a lot of people had nostalgia for the original. So we had to be very clear that this was written by the original authors, but not the old game. But people were very generous and excited about that one. And it was the first time we'd ever even done a Kickstarter. So it was nerve-wracking. But I had a lot of friends that gave us good advice. And we did what I think is the most important thing you can do for a Kickstarter, which is finish your product before the Kickstarter. Don't be like half done and make everybody wait for 5 years. It still took us a few months longer than we thought to get it in people's hands because the production and some of the bringing it over from other countries took a minute. But the important thing was it was done so we could just focus on what people gave us the money for, which was produce it, get it out. Of doing a Kickstarter. I think the challenges are all up front, and that is planning properly. Because it's very easy to get overexcited about how much you could do, and you start making stretch goals, over-promising things, and then you find out you're on the hook for a lot. Or even worse, I think one of the worst things you can do accidentally is to not have all your shipping figured out well in advance. We were lucky. We worked with a shipping partner who understood all the intricacies of international shipping and VAT and all that. So we had that figured out ahead of time. If you do the homework and understand exactly what the cost of printing are going to be, exactly what the shipping is, then you won't get yourself in trouble for So that's what we really tried to avoid, overcommitting. And we never do fixed specialists. We only do all. If we're willing to do the extra stuff, we'll do it when we get it. The special just kind of puts off the pressure.
Yeah.
So we try to just have all the good ideas up front, and then if you want to do extra things, yeah, I really think in anything, it's all it all comes down to were you prepared for things to go wrong and for them to cost long, or they're going to take longer than anything. If you plan for that, you'll be okay. The first piece of advice I would give is to get a book that is called Kickstart Your Own Effing Life by Hambone, Tom McGuire, Retail Games over here. He has written a great book for small creators on how to do crowdfunding. My personal piece of advice would be, in addition to all the preparation and making sure that you have all of your costs understood and everything else, is build your community for as long as you can beforehand. Get people anticipating it, because if you wait until a minute, they'll see it or person marketing. You want to have a lot of people excited ahead of time. They want to join you. They want to be ready for it. Build that buzz. Build that community. And do it organically. You have to be people that are in your community because they like you and love what you do, not because you bought them. Okay.
I forgot your name.
Let's say I'm talking to a gamer who's never played before, and they're in the area. I would say it is a experience. It's not just, I mean, the gaming is great. I mean, we can see right now we've got a land speeder driving by. We saw Wall-E driving through the show earlier. A huge owl bear that must have been 10 feet tall coming to see us. There's just a nonstop sensory experience coming at you. And you're going to see some of the best vendors, and the gamers themselves are incredible. It's really something that you can let wash over you and have a great time. And it's well put together. So that's my pitch.
I absolutely agree.
Oh gosh, in a lot of gaming that put me on the spot a little bit. So I'm gonna pick a moment that's not actually from the game. This is something from the first convention I ever went to as a kid. I grew up in Iowa. There is not a lot where we were. The closest thing to me was a place called Omaha. And it was just a science fiction convention. I'd never been to one before. And for whatever reason, they had decided that Merle Rasmussen would be their keynote speaker. Now, obviously, I'm a huge fan of Merle Rasmussen, the creator of Top Secret, because it was the first game I ever played. And I cared about it, and I was a huge fan of it. So I said, I'm going to this convention because Merle's going to be there. I've never met him. But there was science fiction convention. Nobody was there before, so I did. And so when he did his keynote, I came in and I sat down in a big room. And yet I was 15 years old. I was the only person. Merle came out and he looked around and he saw there was no crowd at all. And just me. And he's like, okay. And he did his whole spiel, his whole speech and everything, just to get the crowd. And then afterwards, he came and just sat down and chatted with me. This 15-year-old kid from nowhere, and he gave me an hour of his time. He was so generous. And then, all these years later, when I reconnected with him, and I brought up Omicron, he said, I remember Omicron. I did a keynote, and there was only one kid there. And I was like, that's me. And so we had to, like, I guess we've known each other a whole month. So that has to be my favorite.
Bye, Maple.
Philly, yes, Philly is here. Put your hand up and I'll hear.
Absolutely. I'm a little bit of a look at me. I sometimes, so that tends to make me go, I'll run it, and I'll usually take people, well, I'll take you through Top Secret, or I love first edition. I guess in the same way that somebody who has a 45-year-old car that nobody else can drive, but they know all the things are. I like it that way. But I have such a good time playing, and I always want to. There's so many games that I've never had a chance to play, so I try to play as many different ones as possible. Last night, Tiger Wizard from Exalted Funeral had a game that was loosely D&D based. The mechanic was that when your character failed at something, you had to hand the character sheet to the person next to you. And your character sheet, you've drawn the character on big things. They had to close their eyes and tear a corner off. And whatever was torn off of your portrait, your character lost. That was the mechanic. It was ridiculous. It was silly, but it was a great time. Yeah.
And I know because there's so many games on the show
Oh.
that I just haven't had a chance to play. So I can play
Oh, that's. Well, yeah, isn't that the way you get your collection, and then you're like, when will I play this? And that's actually our biggest challenge with Top Secret, because it sells great. We're really happy with the number of people that I think we've probably sold about 7,000 copies since it came out. But I don't see enough people talking about it and saying, I'm playing it. They buy it, it's beautiful, they stick it on the shelf. So we're putting all of our effort now into, it's not about selling more games, it's about getting people to pull the box off and play it. So, we made a quick start guide that's really easy to learn. It's on one page. We give away free missions and stuff on the site, and we're always going out there trying to get more people coming into conventions, which is happening. And that's what's makes the biggest difference. It's not just about selling the game. It's like, get them to take it off the shelf and actually play it. Yeah, and me too. I got to take them off the shelf, all the ones I have.
I know. I feel like sometimes I'm a little embarrassed.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to.
Yes. The new shiny always has a little appeal.
Yeah. And what about
Oh, of my own? Actually, no. I'm just going to say straight up no. At least not for AD&D, what I run, because having done the first edition podcast, I had to become very rules by the book, because people would just write in and, you're doing all this wrong. So I enjoy playing first edition exactly as written, even down to the grappling rules, the encumbrance rules, the weapon speed, all of that, all the, what do you call it, spell components. Because when you play that complicated of a game completely by the book, new things emerge that you weren't expecting, because people don't usually use those rules, and you suddenly have amazing events with the dice that you would never expect. So I find that more compelling by the book. For my own game, yes, the house rules, but my house rules eventually make it into rules themselves because it's my game. Yeah. So, for example, the big one that I house rule in Top Secret, our game, is I've eliminated initiative. Yeah, I found that initiative, I never liked rolling for initiative because I just thought it was a little too arbitrary. So by the book rules, we have a system where your reflex speed determines when you go. But that gets a little fidgety too. You're always sitting around thinking about your action. So my house rule, which is going into the new book that we have coming out, is that for initiative, you simply go around the table, everybody says what they're going to do, and then you say what the bad is. And then everything gets resolved, and it all happens at once. So if you have a car barreling at you, and you shoot out the engine block or something, stop it. but the car is still coming at you. Both things happen because it's all happening at once, and it makes the action go faster. It makes it feel more cinematic, and it's just easier to execute.
Makes a lot of sense.
I like it. I think initiative can be eliminated in a lot of games.
Yeah, I do too. Not having initiative in some ways.
I'm a big proponent of declare and then resolve, as opposed to most games. In a lot of games, follow the pattern of going around the table and asking each person, "What are you doing?" Okay, we're going to resolve all of that. Next person, what are you doing? We'll resolve all of that. And here comes the lamp leader. But if you instead go around the table and just ask everybody what they plan to do and then resolve it, everybody gets a turn faster. They have more fun. The whole combat or whatever you're doing goes quicker. It just takes a moment to kind of get used to doing it that way, but I really think it's the best way.
We are just about out of time. Thank you so much for
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. You too. I look forward to seeing you at Total.
Yep, see me.
All right.
Enjoy the rest of the con.
Thank you. You too.